18, thereafter it was in immediately suddenly changed in 1922, and thereafter that was continued till around more than 40 years, and thereafter it was changed in 1961, and thereafter till the date it will continue. Now, hello, okay, ते हे झालं. So, okay. So, what happened that more than 60 years we are using that 1961 Act, and every year there is an amendment, every year, every set of time there was an amendment. So what happened? Act is going to be a big, and because of that, what happened that because of language and because of some today's conditions of business, there is a litigation is going more. So reducing the litigations, they have think to now change the act. So change the act here. That concept was also introduced in 2009 in form of direct tax code. Thereafter, it was again readopted in 2013, but it was never introduced in the parliament, and it was in the discussion phase also, but it was in the discussion phase. So now again the task force they have formed, and they have redacted the 1961 Act in the new form. So here is no any kind of policy change. You mean to say that here it is the taxes is changed, is the deduction is changed, is there any kind of exemption is changed? No. So there is no policy change. So what is the change? So change is a simplification of language. So if you see the change, so you will get that in earlier Income Tax Act, total around 198 sections is there. Now in new Income Tax Bill, total section is 536. Originally in new old Income Tax 1961, originally 298 chapters are there. But if you see the subsections and all these, so it will become around 819. Then number of chapters in new Income Tax Act is only a 23 chapter, whereas in old Income Tax Act that was 47 chapters. Then the here is schedules increased by the number 2, but that is again very simplified, very structural language. And if you see the difference, bigger difference is in the form of reading. So around 2.60 lakh word in the new Income Tax Bill, and where it is in 1961 there was a 5.12 lakh words. Sorry. So what the words they have removed? Let's say I will give the example of now in new Income Tax Act there is no concept of previous year and assessment year. Only they have introduction the concept of tax year. So your previous year will become a tax year now. So there is no assessment year, no previous year. Tax year, and you have to go accordingly tax year. Then all in earlier income tax provisos and explanation, around 1200 provisos is there, and around 900 explanation is there. All are removed from the income tax bill 2021. So you mean to say ki this is not a remove. Whatever mentioned in the provisions or explanation, it is not removed. It is drafted against that section. So it is not covered under the explanation, but it is there in the simplified language. One of the another example is that ki many times we have read that notwithstanding anything contained, notwithstanding anything contained, when there is a provision override order. But now they have used the word irrespective of that. Instead of notwithstanding anything contained, they have used the word irrespective. So likewise that many words they have cut it down, and some provision, if you see the provision that right now is totally absolute or redundant. There is no use of that provision. Some exemption that was earlier in 1970, earlier in 1980, depend on that situation. But that provision is also like a fringe benefit tax and other wealth tax also. So right now there is no use of that provisions. So they have removed the total provisions, and around 300 absolute and redundant provision they have removed from the new income tax bill. Now, here another, if you see the old income tax and new income tax, so definitions part is there ki in old income tax act there is no combined definitions. So definition is split in the part against that chapters. So now what they have done, they have covered all the definitions in one draw under section 2. Where is another act, if you say the GST act or other any type of act, you will get the definition under section 2. So here they have done the job that all the definition, around 112 definition introduction in the new income tax. Now here, if you analyze the definition, some small changes are there in the definition. Like we say the example of amalgamation. Now in case of amalgamation, in earlier act, there is criteria that you have to hold the 3/4 share in the amalgamating company. But if you see the A is the company where you have already held some shares, still you have to specify that criteria. You will meet the criteria to 75 shares, you have to hold it 3/4 shares. Now in new income tax bill, they have clearly told in the definition, if you already held the shares, that shares, while calculating the eligibility of that 75%, you have to reduce it. So let's say I will give you the example that earlier you have a 10 lakh shares. So 10 lakh shares, so as per new old income tax act, 10 lakh into 75% or 3/4. Now as per the new, suppose in that company you have already held the shares of 3 lakh shares. So while calculating the 3/4 is on only 7 lakh, not on 10 lakh. So they have very clarified, very specified is there. Another second one, they have changed the definition of assessment. So in earlier act, the definition is that the assessment include assessment and reassessment. Now they have another word is added that the assessment include assessment, reassessment and recomputation also they have added. Another one, in new income tax act, they have specifically defined the definitions of asset in the form of virtual digital asset, because in old act there is no clarity about the virtual digital asset. So there are many litigations going on because of that. Now they have specifically defined what is meant by asset, and the asset in physical form as well as asset in digital form. And all the changes that, see, in the current, in this bill, there is no policy change, I earlier told you. But the policy change announced in the budget by the Honorable Finance Minister, that all are incorporated in this bill. Which type of bill? Policy change? It means that the salary, it means that the income on the individual, the limit is increased, then standard deduction limit is increased. So these are the changes they have already incorporated in the bill. Another here is that major, all the exemptions. So we see all the exemptions under section 10. So right now, there is no exemptions covered under section 10. So they have shifted all the exemption in the schedules. So now that schedule, that 16th schedule, you have to refer. So that 16th schedule specify that where you get the exemptions, where you get the eligible deduction, but for that, first you have to refer the sections. So first you have to refer whether you are eligible for that and how much eligible, then you have to go to schedule and check whether you are eligible or not. So we'll go one by one section and we'll check. Now if you see, I already told you that there is no that much change in the earlier act and new income tax bill. But see little bit some changes. Jaise now we are up to the section 10 and section 10s are now covered under the schedules. All mentioned in the schedule, so you have to refer the schedule. Now for the section 11, 12 and 13. These are also exemption section for the religious and charitable trust, for the other institutional trust, and for section 13 for the political party. So now for the section, section 11 and section 12 and political party, even the political party exemption. So what is the criteria? So criteria, again, it is defined in the section 11. So new act also covered clause 11 by the political party. But how much is the exemption and all this? Then you have to refer that particular schedule. For that eligibility to take the political party. So now trust and institution. Now there is a big change in the trust and institution. These are covered under the clause 335 of the new income tax bill. Now the clause is like a section until and unless pass in the parliament. After the passing, we'll call as a section. Before passing, we'll say it's a clause. But trust and institution, what you have to do, you have to read the clause 335. So what is the criteria of the trust? What is the definition of the trust? Like what is mean by how it is decided he is a trust. So they have specifically mentioned if it is incorporated or established in India. There is some ambiguity also there. In Maharashtra, if you see, there is an act for the trust registrations. But in some state, there is no act of trust registration. So in that case, litigation also come. But they have specifically mentioned that trust must be registered or incorporated. Now, what is the incorporation? Incorporation, we can say the Section 8 companies are, say, the incorporation. But for that, you have to read the clause 335, and then this exemption for that trust is specified in the Schedule 5. So you have to refer the Schedule 5 for take the exemption criteria. Same thing happens in the political party. Political party, in the old Income Tax Act, it is covered under the Section 3, and in the new Income Tax Bill, it is covered under the 351. And the exemptions related to that, what are the exemptions available to the political party? For that, you have to refer the Schedule 8. And what is the criteria? Criteria is the same. Whatever mentioned in the Income Tax Act 1961, it is as it is copy pasted, but only in the word structure has been changed. Now, if you see the next chapter is the salary. In the earlier act, the salary covered under section 15 to 21. Now in the new Income Tax Act, it is covered under the clause 15 to 18. So it's same, no change. What is the change in the salary? So there is no big change in the salary except that announced in the budget. So there is no change, only the language simplified is there, and all the deductions are now removed from the chapter A and are put it in the different schedules. So you have to refer that schedules. Again, there is one criticability is there while reading the act, is that now earlier what happened that if you refer the chapter 6A, so you will get the deduction starting from the 80. And you will get the 1 by 111. Here you have to refer the schedule, and schedule is heading wise, and then another schedule. It means that if you see the deduction under deduction for the provident fund or deduction other deduction, so you have to refer the schedule 2, schedule 3 also. So that is not covered under the one schedule for the salaried person or any individual person. Secondly, income from house property. So income from house property in earlier act, it's a section 22 to 27, and in the new income tax bill, it is section 20 to 25. All the provision are same. All the calculation for income from house property are same, only the section now different, and very little difference. In earlier act it was 22 to 27, and in the new income tax bill it is 20 to 25. Now in PGBP in earlier act it was start with section 28 to 44 dB. Now in new income tax act, it start from 26 to 64. Now here, because see, it's a very big act and will not go by each and every provision right now, considering the timing. But some important discussion where we need this is the highlighted point that will tell you. So here in earlier act some ambiguity and litigation is going on. What happened in earlier act? Suppose you have some foreign income through your another office or through other company or other. So what happened that suppose there is no treaty with that particular country, and you have also not claim, or you will not able to claim the relief under section 90, 91, whatever applicable. So whatever the taxes paid in that country, whether it is allowable deduction here or not. So that is the point of litigation, because earlier Act 1961, it is not specifically mentioned that whether it is allowable or not. And because of that, what happened that officers say, see, Act is silent about that expenditure is allowable or not. So what happened that officer says it's not allowed to you. And we said as a consultant or as a businessman, they said where it is mentioned in that it is allowed to you. So officer passed the order and then litigation come, then the litigation is going on. Now in new act, they have specifically mentioned if relief you have not taken or the treaty is not there, and if you paid any taxes in that country, still you have not get any kind of deduction. So because of that, what happened that litigation will reduce, because act is specifically mentioned that you will not get deduction. Now second, another issue is that here in the earlier act also the issue is continue. If you increase the share capital, authorized share capital of the business, so whatever the expenses you have paid stamp duty also for that, you have paid consultancy charges, who is the professional for the certification and all these. So these expenditure is not allowed to in the income tax. In earlier also, and new income tax again silent about this. There is no specific provision mentioned currently, but again here is the chances again the litigation will come, and I think many suggestions also given by many please allow this exemption, allow this deduction as an expenditure, or act may state directly that whether it is allowed or whether it is not allowed. Because act is silent, then the litigation is come, because the interpretation from the department is another way and we user as another way. Then another one issue is that people are expecting in the change that the CSR expenditure is not allowed currently. In the new income tax bill also CSR expenditure is not allowed, but the suggestions many are, because what happens that whatever CSR expenditure is also a part of distribution of profit, whether it is government or whether it is public. Both are governed by the government. Whether I have to pay the taxes to the government, that is the part of distribution of my profit also. And under the CSR, government told us you have to do the CSR on that particular percentage, whatever the criteria. Now what happened that I have to pay first income tax on that CSR amount, and then this CSR. So there is a cascading effect. But the act right now it is silent, and there right now we say ki there is no deduction is not allowed. But very soon there may be happen that the clarity is going on that also. Now another important provision they have. Huh? Can you give the tab? I just operate it. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's the same screen. Yeah, you can give it to me. I can touch the tab. Thank you. Now another provision also introduced, one big provision is there. If you buy the capital asset, if you buy the capital asset in cash where the value is more than 10,000, then you will not eligible to claim as a depreciation also. So reduction of the capital asset you will not allowed. Likewise, we see in the section 14A in the earlier act, the deduction in respect of the exempt income is not allowed. Likewise, that if you buy the capital asset in the cash where the value is more than 10,000, now you say ki, which type of asset we are buying more than 10,000. So sometimes what happen that ki, some mobiles and others they have seen it is in the cash, or cash in the sense what happened that the cash limit is right now 10,000 in a day. So they make a 2 voucher. One day one voucher, second day another, so it is allowed. But now they have specifically mentioned that any capital expenditure in excess of 10,000 paid by cash, even the depreciation is not allowed. Now, balance provision is little bit same, nothing much changes in the earlier and old act. Now, another clause 57 is important provision. What happened in the earlier act for recognition of revenue for the construction or project-based companies. So, for the construction sector, recognition of revenue, they have, see, there is a accounting standard also, but the calculation is based on some, now we say, we require the what is the completion. So some now because of the RERA come to the picture, so there is a engineer, structural engineer, there is a architecturer, so we demand both ki give your certification, what is the completion of the project, and based on that we'll calculate as per 7. Now they have specifically mentioned that you have to specify what the method you follow while recognizing your revenue. Another point here, maybe introduction in the part that turnover reconciliation is not there. If you see currently, so GST turnover as per the GST and turnover as per the Income Tax Act. So that reconciliation is there. And what happened that people are getting the notices right now. So that is going to happen. Likewise, that in next year, whenever they develop the forms for that, I think that reconciliation will be come into the force. So for that, because this type of information will reduce your litigation. Now what happened that my turnover as per the GST is 1 CR and my turnover as per the Income Tax Act is 90 lakh. So there is a difference of 10 lakh. So you will get the notice of the Income Tax Act, there is a difference of 10 lakh, you have to conceal the income, or this is the undisclosed income, whatever. So now if you give the reconciliation, there is a scope. मतलब अभी नहीं है लेकिन it will be. So if you give the reconciliation that the 10 lakh is difference on account of sale of fixed asset or whatever, so that will be reduce your litigations. And the main purpose of this bill drafting is to reduce the litigation, use the simple language that every common man will understand that language. Now another certain what they have did in the earlier Income Tax Act section 43 under the 43 some phrases is there like some terms what is the meaning of statutory payment and other payment. So they have again defined in the clause 66 what is the term of that, because that is the base. So जो provident fund payment or ESIC payment, when it is you have to make and when this deduction will be available. Now other than this, not major changes in the PGBP section also. Now if you see the capital asset, so capital gains chapter will start in the section 45 to 55A in as per 1961, and in new income tax bill it is covered under the clause 67 to 91. Then here another also that what is the change in capital gain? There is nothing likewise major change, but introduction of digital asset, definition of digital asset. So that is mainly change. Balance and here people are also what has happened in the earlier act. The long-term definition of long-term asset is for 36 months, and because of that, the deduction under section 54B is you have to claim that deduction. This asset also you have to continue with your possession in the name for 3 years, that is 36 months. Now the long-term definition of the asset is changed the period from 36 months to 24 months. So people are expecting that whether the holding period will get reduced under section 54B, but now currently there is no change. So you have to hold 3 years. Otherwise, before 3 years you have to sell, then the capital gain will arise and you have to pay. Now, income from other sources, as per old Income Tax Act, it is covered under section 56. As per new income tax bill, it is covered under section 92 to 95. And it is exactly copy paste, nothing change in the income from other sources. Even in the clubbing also, clubbing and aggregation of income, there is no change. Only the section is changed. Now the clubbing is covered under in the new income tax bill under section 96 to 100, and aggregation is 101 to 107, and it is still continued. Likewise in the old Income Tax Act, aggregation for under section 68, 68A and 68B. These are all undisclosed income, what is the taxation, cash and all this. So it is tax at the rate 60%, and in the current bill also it is tax at the rate 60% also. So there is no change, big change. Now again, next chapter is carry forward of set-off and losses. So in earlier act, it is covered under section 70 to 80, and new Income Tax Act, it is covered under 108 to 121. Now next the chapter 6A deductions, where the chapter 6A deduction sections covered under in earlier act 88 to 80 FV, and in new income tax bill it is covered under section 122 to 153, but it is again in the section, whatever the main deduction, that for that you have to refer to the schedule. Here are some deduction is not continue in the new income tax bill. Some of like 80IA, 80IAB and 80BIBA. Which of that the enterprises, 80IA is related to enterprises engaged in the infrastructure development. So they have a specific deduction. Or the 80IAB, they have a enterprises engaged in the SEZ development or deduction in respect of housing project, 80IBA. So that deduction, see, this deduction is that you have a tax holidays for 5 years, 3 years, 7 years, or some partial deduction also. So these deductions are not continue in new income tax bill 2025. So these are 3 sections specifically removed. But let's say if company A is covered under the ATIA and he is eligible for the tax reduction for 5 years tax holiday. Now 2 years is completed. Now what happened for the next 3 years? So that type of company will eligible that or enjoy that deduction up to 3 years only. So they can continue till. But the new company that do not qualify the deduction in earlier act, they will not eligible to claim the deduction in the new income tax act for these specific 3 sections. So this specific 3 section is not there. Now next chapter is rebates. So in earlier rebates are covered under section 87 to 81, and now in new income tax bill it is covered under section 155 to 158. Now here also what happened in the rebate, another one controversy is going on. There is a treaty between the two countries, and now some phrases, some definitions is not there in treaty, or it is different in the treaty, and it definition defined for specific term is different in the treaty, and that particular term definition is different in our income tax bill 2025. So which one we have to follow? So right now they said that you have to follow the definition as per the act and not the definition given in the treaty. Here also chances in the future that the litigation will increase. Now next chapter is double taxation avoidance agreement. So in 90 and 91 the relief here, some they have introduction some guidelines by the General Anti-Avoidance Code for the calculation. What happened that while in the TP audit also there is no guidelines for the some services that you have paid to your HO. Some technical services, you have paid technical fees to HO, you have paid the royalties to HO, or any kind of service expenditure. So the valuation of that is very critical, because the department saying that this is not your actual expenditure and this is your profit, you have distributed your profit through head of expenditure. So in new income tax bill, they have specified some criteria to measuring that. So because of that, what happened that litigation will reduce. Now computation of international transaction, computation of income for the international transaction and specified domestic transaction, which is covered under section 92. Now it is covered under section 161 to 174, and balance is nothing is changed. Only the reshuffling language is simplified, and what here another main, they have given the guidelines for specific, because they have, while making the act they have analyzed that what are the triggering point where the litigation is going on. That is the main objective, because see, there is no policy change, there is no any kind of rates change, not any additional exemptions they have introduced. So here it is the main objective is that reducing the litigation and time frame, complete time frame for the assessment also, for the appeal section also. So that is there. Now next chapter is dividend stripping and bonus stripping. So it is in earlier act it is under section 95, and new act it is covered under section 175. There is no change likewise, that only the section is changed. Now here they have introduced that determination of taxes in certain cases where section 1110 to 115 BBJ. Now they have specifically mentioned that here again in the new income tax bill also, if you are taking the benefit of the benefit under section 115B, 115 BAB, then the MAT provision will not apply to you. It's not a benefit like that. It's actually the tax computation working under these clauses. But if you do that, then MAT will be not apply. And if this will not do, then the MAT will be applied and you have to compute. Now under the MAT also, computation under the MAT, now what they have done, MAT, there is a various criteria to calculation the MAT profit. So now what they have done, they have accumulated all the provision under that one section. You have to refer that and you have to calculate the MAT. Now next chapter is that tax authorities. So tax authority, earlier act it is covered under the section 116 to 119, and now it is covered under section 236 to 239. And now if you see the tax authority, earlier act the name was the tax authorities. Now it was changed the tax administration. That's it. There is nothing changed. Powers is same to the board. Composition of board it is same also. But the name is little bit changed. Now the taxpayer, here also the introduction 240, section 240, taxpayer for chartered. Now this provision is to let's say charter for your rights. But in the earlier act also there this provision, but the use is not there that much. But it may happen that in this current bill, when it is get implemented and approved from the parliament, it may expected that this section will also, this is for the taxpayer. This is for the taxpayer right. But no one is utilizing currently. Now just a second. Now here the definition of books of accounts also changed, because in earlier act the definition covered the physical records and all these things. Now definition includes the digital records also. So if you have a invoicing in digital records, you need not have to maintain the books of accounts in physical form. So department will have to accept the digital invoices, scan copies, all this they cannot deny it, and it is specifically mentioned in the act. Here another one provision is that some rights is given to the income tax authorities in case of search and seize. So what are those rights? So specially there is no change in the earlier right, but the right and power is increased to the extent that they can seize not only books of accounts and record, but also a digital data, computation of storage, back data, tally, solutions, Excel sheet, and all the material available in the electronic mode and even in the computer systems. Now they have defined the computer systems also. So computer systems include the storage, gadget, remote, server, cloud server, virtual digital space also. Now here it is important to understand that income tax authority is eligible to receive your private data also, your emails, your other media access also. But that is again because see, here they are authorized to receive it. But again many senior advocates say it's against the human right, because you are compelling to give us the password. So, and there is a judgment also from some courts that you cannot compel for some privacy data. Now they have introduced this provision. Here they have specifically have a right to access your private data also. So here it may be chances that litigation may be incurred on the basis of that sharing the private data. Because see what happened that if you have some system, some Apple system if you have, so cracking the Apple system is not easy task unless and until you give the password to them. So, yes, they have. Huh. Huh. Data protection. Yeah. Once. Yes. 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 But again, this is the very critical issue, because some court, those are not related to income tax, they say it's against the human rights. Next, procedure for assessment. So in earlier act, it was covered under section 139 to 158. And in the new act, it is covered under section 262 to 301. Now here nothing much changes, but in earlier act what happened that section 139 says you have to file the return of income, and section 140A you have to get the permanent account number. So unless you have a permanent account number, how you can file the return? Because PAN is, but the section first is to file the return and then you get the permanent. This is controversy though. In new Income Tax Act, now section 262 is covered for getting the PAN, permanent account, and then you have to file the return, is covered under the subsequent section. Also here one of the some changes is that reopening of assessment. So, the reopening of assessment will have a reason, or they have to take the permission. In some cases where the SCAP assessment is there and the amount of liability of the SCAP assessment if more than 50 lakh. So in earlier act what happened that for the general reassessment opening, the period is 3 years, and for other than this period is 5 years, where the amount involved more than 50 lakh. Now in new income tax act, they have increased the limit from 3 years to 4 years and from 5 years to 6 years. So here some exception are there here, but here is a limitation in what happened in earlier acts under section 148. If your SCAP assessment is there, assessing officer have not binding to give you the opportunity of being heard before escaping the assessment. Now in new income tax bill, they have specifically mentioned that you have to give the opportunity to the assessee before covered under section 148. So you will get the opportunity, you have to share the relevant explanation. If officer not satisfied, then the assessment will going on. Here another important point also, that while escaping the assessment, 3 cases officer does not give you the opportunity of being heard. What are that 3 cases? If the income of escapement on account of departmental data sharing, it means that you have made some concealment or under reporting of your income, and that based on the data is shared by the MCA, data is shared by the customs, data other government department. Secondly, in case of tribunal or court order, in that case also it is directly assessment reopen and there is no opportunity of being heard is required to the assessee. And in case the GAR board finding, if they find that assessee is underreported, make concealment, then also assessment will be reopened without being opportunity given to you. So that is the only change in the assessment. Remaining whatever in the old act they have covered in the new act, and timeline they have very specifically given. What happened that in right now, if you see in new income tax act and old income tax act, so the major difference is to reduce the litigation. Now what they have done, now see the cases going on under section 148, 142. So there is no time frame. This is 1 year, 2 year, it is going on. So now you will get the time frame. Secondly, assessing officer passing the ex parte order. So that will be also going to reducing, because assessing officer, they have specifically given the guidelines what the action you have to take up to reach that assessee. And third, they have reduced the period of cases under the appeals and ITET. So they have specifically mentioned here that cases under the commissional appeals will be required to clear within 1 year. Now if you see the current situation, I don't think assessee will get the relief 2 to 3 years. The cases is going on. In fact, the ITET is clearing the cases early than the appeals. This is my experience. So, but is currently here implementation is very big task in case of assessment also, because if you see the today's scenario, today around all India around 6 lakh cases pending, the appeals and ITT. So how it will be covered, because the appeals has given very short period, within the 1 year they have to dispose of the case. And on what basis dispose of the case? Because they have analyzed that we have reduced the number of litigation sections and drafted in the so manner that litigation will automatically down. So your litigation will down, so you will get the minimum cases, so that you will have to dispose within 1 year. Now the next chapter is the liability in special cases like AOP, BOI. In the earlier Income Tax Act, it is covered under section 159 to 181, and it in the new Income Tax Act 302 to 323. Nothing change in the provisions, but only the reshuffling of the sections is there and redrafting is there. Now here the many provision that that are the redundant, and they have removed from here like competent authority, preliminary notice, objection, hearing objections, appeal, order for acquisitions. So this type of provision in the earlier act that are covered under section 269, which is totally redundant, they have totally right now removed from the income tax bill. Now penalty, in the penalty section they have not changed anything. All the penalties whatever mentioned is general penalty, section 271 and others penalties are same as it is drafted in the new income tax bill, only to the extent that the drafting is simple, and you will find that there is no ambiguity to understand whether this is penalty is leviable by levy, it is correct or not. Then the next chapter is miscellaneous provisions. So it is covered under section 499 to 535. Here the as per the old income tax also some provisions like provisional attachment, service of notice when the firm is dissolved, and statement submission by NRI. So that provision is earlier act also. It's nothing is new addition in the miscellaneous provision also. Only except to they have specifically added the provision here that the commissioner have to maintain the panel of registered valuer also. So that is the new provision added in the miscellaneous act, that because see in the earlier act there is no provision for the maintaining the register of the valuers in that. Valuers is there, they have nominated by income tax officer, commissioner of income tax. But here is the new provision introduction, that the register valuer, and the definition of register valuer is also introduction, as per the under section 514 of the act, remaining all the provisions mentioned here, like allotment of document identification number and all these are, that was omitted in the earlier act. Even some cases the tax credit certificate to certain equity shareholders. These are the old provision, tax credit certificate to the certain manufacturing companies in certain cases, that are omitted. Now here another, if you go to the schedules, so you have to correlate the section with the schedules. Then you will understand what the provision is says and what the exemption you will have to available. Otherwise, what happened that you will not get the idea, and you will have to read all the schedules also first. Then you can correlate to that. Otherwise, you are not eligible to claim all the benefits which is available in all the schedule, because for the one person, say the income from the salary, but the deduction whatever the available, it is not covered under the one schedule. So you have to refer all the schedules of that particular act. Now here another one major change in the partners remuneration also there. Partners remuneration calculation is earlier at the limit was for the profit, adjusted profit 3 lakh, 90% on the first 3 lakh. Now that limit they have increased to 6 lakh. So there is a main issues is going on, because earlier act that limit is very old, and considering that the partner remuneration calculation, the exemption for the partnership firms is required to be increased. So that was increased in the new income tax bill. Okay, remaining as per the appeal sections are same, nothing is changed. You if officer pass, only the timeline is given. Timeline is for assessment, timeline is for reassessment, even the recomputation is timeline is there. And secondly, if you file the cases under the appeal, also there is a timeline. If you file the cases under the ITAT, also there is a timeline. And also they have specifically mentioned that the procedure will be simplified for filing the appeal, whether it is in the commissioner appeal, whether it is under the tribunal, ITAT appeal. So procedure will get very simplified. But what is the procedure? That will come. So this is overall about the new income tax bill, that we have taken the major changes, but see the bill is very big, and these changes is slightly what the major changes is that from the old income tax act that we have discussed. But again here, if you go by chapter, then you will understand that what the difference is there. Nothing much there. If you calculate the income as per the old income tax act and it comes around 50 lakh, the new income tax will also say it's a 50 lakh. Because there is no tax rate change, no exemptions, nothing is there. Only that the language is simplified, and the main objective of that reduce the litigation. So only that criteria that follow. Here people also are expecting the changes that suppose the new startup business, private limited companies, or let's say also the income tax rate is 25% for the companies. And if I have a partnership firm or LLP, I have to pay at 30%. So many issues going on also that reduce that tax to the 25%, at least till 25%. Because what happened in the partnership case is also that there is a some expenditure, there is a limitation of working, that you have to calculate the adjusted profit and then you have to calculate the eligibility of that expenditure. So this provision is also that, and thereafter I have to pay the tax on 30%. So it is very high. Second, another issue I was already discussed, that CSR issues. So CSR, I have to pay the tax on whole CSR amount, and then whatever the CSR amount, that I have to distribute it. So what is mean that see, income tax, whatever the concept of income tax is whatever my income, which before distribution to the stakeholders in the related shareholders, and I have to pay the tax. That is the concept. But whatever the income that I have to distribute through the guidelines of the government, that any department, MCA is there or other act is there. So why should I have to pay the tax on that? So that issue also going on, but I considering that maybe these changes I think maybe happen, but it will become in the next budget, because the finance minister specifically says that this is not a bill where we are going to make a policy changes that will affecting the revenue or changing the revenue. So that is not there. So overall this, if you have a question, you can discuss. Huh? Deemed income, see sir, there is no specific changes in the deemed income, but there is a changes in the undisclosed income. Deemed income in the earlier act, there is this deemed income, it is continue, and that was the dividend, for the dividend and others. The definition is changed in the budget introduction. So that will be as it is incorporated in the bill. So whatever the change is there in the budget, that was incorporated, and here is it, nothing is changed in the deemed income.
Suppose I do the allotment at 100 rupees and the fair value was 200. What will happen?
What, sir?
I do the allotment of shares at 100 rupees per share, but the fair value was 200 rupees.
So then in that case they have specifically added, you have to do the register valuation from the registered valuer, and whatever the
That's what I'm saying, no? Fair value is 200. So fair value is the value which is arrived from the registered value.
But
if the company does the allotment at 100, what happens?
then it is considered under the deemed income.
Other income for the company, or
It's a company other income.
for the investor?
Huh? See, allotment, correct.
Fair value is 200.
But who is the gainer?
I'm also benefited because I'm paying less.
Right, that depend again, who is the shareholder, what is the relation, and
Asking the question, reason why I'm asking the question is, will both be taxed?
both bidders.
Because I'm getting it at lower price, and company is also getting lesser revenue.
So benefit is they have pass on the investor also. But in some cases, see what happened in company's case.
May also say that you are taking money to cash.
Yeah. I am coming to that. See, this is type of undisclosed information, or you can say concealment of information. So ultimately company also liable to that. Yes, presumptive taxation scheme, there is a change in the budget. Change in the budget only. Here bill is not changing. Matlab there is no policy wise bill is not changing. Policy wise changes whatever announced in the budget, that was incorporated. Here the salaries for the total income of the individual computation, that is also changed. But that was declared in the budget. That was not declared in the bill. So whatever the changes declared in the budget, they have as it is incorporated in the new income tax bill. See, ICDS right now again strengthened because there is a valuation procedures, and in fact it may happen that in the coming future there is their computation, there is increase in the number of standard, because if you see right now the valuations of inventory, there is a major issue of the valuation inventory. In case of transfer pricing also, there is a some companies paying the cost to the group in the name of technical services. नहीं No, even sir, if you see current, if you, as per new income tax bill, calculation of MAT provision also very critical, sir. And even the in coming scenario, now those are working in MNC, they know for the TP audit. TP audit, see, they paid the royalty to group, they paid the technical fees to group. So the valuation of that technical fee as expenditure or valuation of that royalty as expenditure, it's very big task. And it is part of litigation, sir.
Somebody might say it's a capital gain.
And because whenever there is a valuation, see, valuation is not a science, valuation is art. So in my perspective, valuation for this commodity is 100, and for another valuer is prospective, it is 99. Already, always said. Because see, this is the today's seminar is related to like that ki how the income tax act bill 2025 is drafted, how it is impacting on the old provisions. But for if we going the provision by provision, it will have a 2 to 3 days seminar, that where we go in the detail by chapter, and where we refer some judgment, some major judgment, because see, there is some specific section where the more litigation is going on. Now they have reshuffle is, they have identified it, drafted, but what will be the impact? But for that, it will be, we have also requested to the chairman that in the coming days, we will arranging that seminar where we will discuss the provision by chapter only. So it's let's say salary, PGBP, house property, then other clubbing provisions, set up, carry forward. So these we'll discuss in detail where yes, it is compulsory. Yes. And it now right now there is ambiguity. In fact, we are expecting that they have adding the definition like that valuer definition. So currently there is no current definition of valuer. So the definition is there, but definition is like nominated by the board or whatever the qualification prescribed by the board. But what happened in the
Client allotted, he got 7 crore rupees funding,
correct,
and against that he allotted 18% equity. But if you see the business plan, fourth year and fifth year, the profitability was 40 crore rupees per annum. So valuation was actually working out to more than 300 crores.
correct.
Because you do this year, so you will work out the valuation. I could make out from the time I told him this is not right. I
Correct.
am advising him on the term sheet and other parameters. But you know, sometimes people make mistakes.
People make
Listen to professionals like us. And he went ahead and he did the allotment. So I said someday you will, you know, this agreement gets exposed.
exposed.
You know, someday you will have trouble because there is 300 crores and 18%, 54 crore rupees. And here you are allotting, you know, 18% at 7 crore rupees. That again, that difference will actually become due income for both.
Both. Because see, right now this act also and last budget also, they have specifically cater the digitalization, digital asset, valuation of shares, crypto. Even that crypto transaction now the TDS will get impacted from the 1st April.
In the case that I recently referred, if the valuation has been done as per 18% allotment for 7 crore rupees, but in the agreement it is different figure. Tomorrow if the department funds on the different agreement, they will charge tax, right?
Yes, that is the concealment.
Because that's an understanding between you and me. I am the investor and you are the investee.
Correct.
The agreement is that in fourth year I ensure that 40-50 crore profitability. So that becomes part of the DCF, right?
Correct.
But when you actually do the valuation, they do it as per what will come to 7 crore rupees for 18%.
Correct. And in fact, it is expected that in the coming year, when the form will release for the filing of return and tax audit, these small details, disclosure, you have to give in that form. Because what happened that currently, see, the many companies will make a provisions, but when the provision is clear, so there is no total breakup. So what happened that actually when you make the provision on the 31st March, so normally it will be clear before filing of the return. Normally in the normal system, exceptions. But that reporting is not there for currently. Which provision? It is there for some specific statutory provision you made, but let's say some other expenditure provision made. So that reporting is not that person wise or that expenditure wise currently. Another issue in the tax audit also, we have identified some issues where it may happen that disclosure, currently there is no disclosure in the forms also, but it may happen that when this bill will implemented and new forms will come, that disclosure will they getting. Another questions?
Section 91 talks about DTA and income tax time, whichever is beneficial, that is applicable as per the
Current provision. No. See, actually what happened that it is there, whichever is beneficial. But in some cases, let's say any term is different in the treaty. Term definition is for some specific term is different in the treaty, and definition in the new income tax bill same term is different, then which definition you are following? So calculation is different, but exemption taking is different. But for the working and analysis, which definition you have to follow? So you have to follow the definition of act, not the treaty. The litigation, it may happen that where also the litigation will come. Another question from? एक मिनट ये ना गुरु ये ना. झालं तर झालं. कशी क्वेश्चन आन्सर चालू आहे ना, फक्त क्वेश्चन आन्सर चालू आहे.
Is anybody have more questions to Amit? Else otherwise we will take a tea break and then go for next session.
I have one question. On the old tax regime and the new tax regime, the old tax, that is where we file income tax, especially for the salary. What do you think is the main motive behind the government to introduce these two regimes? And will they be scrapping this old tax regime at all totally and people move on to the new tax regime?
So,
What's your perspective about it?
so my personal opinion on that, government, see in the new bill also they have continued the old tax regime also. They have not scrapped it. But government expecting that people upfrontly says that we do not want the old tax regime.
See, one way is that we look at the saving perspective. Another way to encourage people to save
Save.
is was these exemptions and
Correct.
stuff. Another thing is even in savings, like for example, if I take an insurance policy, I pay the GST for that.
Correct.
So I pay an indirect tax, I pay a direct tax, and
Correct.
what is that? It's like I am transparent and I am taxed for that.
Correct.
Taxation it becomes more like a penalization, right?
Correct.
When everybody is shifting to a new tax regime and we want to encourage the citizens to go for saving, okay, so they need something to be at the disposal, right? Then later on they can think about saving. So it will be the case. I don't know how the government is going to handle it, especially the salaried people or the section of people
Yes.
who are getting affected mostly due to that. And
Yes.
we are funding the government. And
Yes.
now this old tax regime, new tax, and slowly when they are changing the income tax slabs, so sometimes we feel better, okay, the new tax regime is good and I just shift over there. And later on if something happens to those rates, I cannot move back, right?
Correct.
These are like ways and methods.
Yes, there is a impact of the people mind thinking will change in the future for the investment perspective. Because if you see the current scenario, I have seen many cases where the new joiner qualify, maybe graduate engineer or anybody who qualify join the industry, and when his package is going on 7, 8, 9 lakh above, so he thinking for investment whenever he liable for the tax. Till the date he not that much thinking, and whenever he thinking, then he attracted for what I have to do, then go for the policy, go for the flat buying and another whatever the investment is available. But right now in the year on year, considering the today's scenario, see now the limit is 12 lakh, correct? But is 12 lakh for those whose salary package up to 12 lakh? Please understand, this 12 lakh limit to those whose salary up to 12 lakh, otherwise there is nothing change. But in future, let's say this 12 lakh will increase to 18 lakh, 20 lakh. So in that case, people for the investment perspective will think little shorter for that buying the home or the policies. But another view that if you see the today's investment mind for the in case of shares mutual fund, so that was drastically increased. Now anybody seeing in the mobile, they have their app, they make a investment in the share, they make a investment in the mutual fund. Some people are doing the future and options also. So government getting the investment from there also, from that point up also. So here they have releasing, but again one part is important that in the next generation mindset will be changed for the investment. That is absolutely right, madam. Correct. Small saving investment. PPF, NPS. Correct. Yes, yes, absolutely, sir. Correct, correct. Yes, yes, 1 or 2 years time only. New regime. Because very short people in the employment where the salary is more than 25 lakh. Yes, borrowing and spending. Because see, current act is also study based on the UK government and Australia and other government. They have studied their country act and then they have redacted our act. Reduce the litigation. Sir, that is very. Sir, in some cases, I was already told you that where the litigation is still will continue. That was already told you that. And considering in income tax also, what happens, sir? GST introduction, government face the major litigation also for the 17-18, 18-19, 19-20 also and 20-21 also. But what happened? Government drastically take a step and remove the audit. 9C certification is not there right now, correct? Everything is online. Now 3B will also non-edited and auto-populated will happen. So in the coming scenario, this is happen with income tax also. Because right now if you see, they are actually capturing the data from the GST department. What is your sale? What is your purchases showing? And even the people getting the notices that you have shown that much and you have shown the GST that much. So there is a difference. It will be not surprising that, sir, ki in the next some years also, the scope of this filing of return of income and this will be get reduced, sir, for the professionals also. And then your scope is the analysis, management and handling the part of litigation. That is your scope. All the officers. Yeah, yeah.
Suppose my income is 50 lakh rupees and I assuming that I pay 30% tax and my net tax home income is 35 lakhs. Again, then what should I should be ideally spending, right? I will at least try to save 10 lakh rupees. If I am spending anything more than 25 lakh rupees, and it comes to their notice that this person is spending 50-60 lakh in a year, they will make it as considered income.
Because of that, specifically provision introduction that they will have to access your social digital data. Now you are buying the laptop, you are buying the iPhone, you are putting on the Facebook some story that I have bought. You have go to foreign trip, there also. So these data they are capturing.
Collapse of the market recently. You look at some of the fund managers interview from Singapore. They said because government has introduced capital gain tax, I'm collecting $4 billion. Because of that, the market has collapsed. If you look at world over reality, everywhere capital gains tax is 15 to 20%. So what is the point in crying about India?
Yes.
You pay taxes there because governments are very stringent.
Correct.
Here in India, you will always be, अरे इतना capital gain tax बढ़ा दिया, market has lost 25% market capitalization. What is the point?
Even whatever the point madam says, in case of capital gain also, right now that investment intention will lapse in the future. Capital gain also. Now you have to compulsory to pay the 10%, you have to pay the tax.
Most of the other countries, capital gains is treated as part of your normal income, right?
Part of our normal income.
Not treated separately. Anyway, you end up paying 30% tax. So why you cry about 12.5% tax? It is only India में सबको रोना ही आता है. In other countries, they are paying 30% tax on that. It is because it gets lumped with your only other, business income. That's why yesterday, last time, the inventory valuation event, Mr. Adhikar said that leakage of tax is exactly 50% of what is being paid now. The government is estimating 20 lakhs leakage of tax already.
Inventory valuation is a very big area and it is very impacting on the profitability where the department lose their big revenue. If you see, if you do the inventory valuation as per the cost accounting record and whatever the inventory valuation reflected in the balance sheet that was certified your statutory auditor, you will get the difference. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yes, it is true, sir. Because while preparing and finalizing the account, you have a bills, you have a revenue. So, we'll see at the time how to show the inventory valuation and we'll adjust the profit. That is the reality today's business.
That's the last item, they keep it open. Whatever they want to do adjustments, they'll do it in that.
Yes, and that is the decision making point.
That is influenced by management, they prepare
Yeah.
that way.
But this is the good opportunity to us also, because see, currently we are authorized to do the inventory valuation in the special audit case. But if you show our expertise and impact on the how the inventory valuation impacted on the revenues, then it may happen in the coming years, it will get mandatory. Likewise, tax order.
Best part is, my suggestion, best part is that institute should proactively do a paper presentation saying that this is the leakage of tax. Then the government's eyes will open more.
Yes.
When Mr. Chandrasekhar Atkarkar last seminar said
Correct.
that government is thinking, see today total income tax collection figure is 19.5 lakh crores.
Correct.
50% is personal tax, 50% is corporate tax.
Correct.
Government is saying exactly 100% of that is the leakage.
Yes.
Government is thinking about 20 lakh crores as the leakage of income tax.
Exactly, sir.
I think institute should do proactively present some suggestions.
Now, my transfer pricing case, transfer pricing officers specifically asked me the related party transaction to be certified by cost accountant.
Exactly. Exactly, and if you see the transfer pricing cases, even some cases, actually cost transfer pricing audit are done by the accountant, which CA. But for the backup working, many CAs are taking the certification of the working from the cost accountant. That is the reality.
So he is trading in certificate.
Huh? Exactly, sir. If huh? But
Like that's what TPMP does, right? They appoint consultant, they get the report from the consultant, print it on the letterhead, right?
so they want the certification from us to secure them in the future consequences. But they don't want to.
When it comes to explanation, they pass on the matter to cost accountant, right?
Actually, that is not there. But see, see, whatever in the act, that is different. But also the officer, right now, sir said that ki our name is not there for certification in TP. But still, officer demanding that ki this valuation is required to be done by the cost accountant, not by the CA. So he understand the importance where.
Institute should focus center of excellence in Delhi. Audit all the cost parameters of the nation. I think that is the best thing that can happen ever.
Even in case last time also, if you see the ICDS and all this, the valuation of inventory, capacity utilization and all this. So from these all many material picked up from our standard, cost accounting standard. Many material, most of them 90% valuation of inventory, 90% content is taken from our cost accounting standard. Let's hope for the best. Yes, thank you so much. I really enjoyed the session with you. Yes, and we'll shortly announcing the series also for detailed analysis of income tax chapter by chapter, where we go in the detailed provision, case laws and other references. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, everyone. I stand before you today to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all those who have been part of this insightful session. Especially thank you to CMA Amit Bise for sharing his valuable knowledge and thoughts on Income Tax Bill 2025 and Section 44 AB. We have gained a valuable perspective and deeper understanding of these important topics that shape the financial landscape of our country. I would also like to thank uh, our chief guest and guest of honor who spare some time in their busy schedule and special. We also owe a debt of gratitude for shedding light on Section 44 AB, especially its application to individuals and businesses. The section which deals with the audit of accounts for taxpayers exceeding specified turnover limits was broken down in such a way that all of us now have a much clearer understanding of how to comply with this requirement in the coming year. In conclusion, I hope the knowledge shared today serves as a guiding light on our professional journeys, whether we are financial experts, business owner, or just individuals keen to stay informed about tax matters. The evolving nature of the income tax bill emphasizes the need for all of us to stay updated and prepared for the changes ahead. Once again, thank you on behalf of Pimpri Chinchwad Akudi chapter for your valuable time and participation. I look forward to further discussions and collaboration on this in coming future also. Have a great day ahead. Thank you so much.
Sir, we are making just 10 minutes of break. After that, at 12:30, we will start second session. Thank you.
करायचं चालू बाबासाहेब hello hello now we are starting our second session which is on practical insights of section 44AB, that is the applicability of income tax audit. We have a second speaker, CMA Babasaheb Pate sir. I request CMA Babasaheb Pate sir, please take a charge and start the session. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My friend, my dear friend Amit Bise has taken a very good session on decoding out Income Tax Bill 2025 and the comparison with the Income Tax Act 1961. I am presenting some insight of Section 44AB. Obviously, the new, as per new Section 61 is the new section as per new bill 2025. Income Tax Act 1961 enacted in 1961 and applicable in 1962. The section till the 1984 tax audit provision was not there in the Income Tax Act. It is introduced in the 1984. I will explain the logic behind the 44AB introduction. Ma'am, can you have the memorandum?
Yeah,
Page number 4. Slightly up. Section 44 AB was introduced in the finance bill in 1984. The logic behind the introduction was the accounts maintained by the companies are required to be audited under Companies Act or Societies Act, Cooperative Society Act. There was no obligation to have audit in Income Tax Act. The basic purpose, a proper audit for the purpose would ensure the books of accounts and other records are properly maintained and that faithful reflect the impact of taxpayer and claims the deduction are correctly made by him. Means major onus on the books of accounts, correct, true and fair view of the books of accounts, and the assessee has made payment on his correctly computation of income. So this audit purpose will help the tax authorities to conduct the assessment. Okay. Now, in section 44AB, if your business exceeds 1 crore rupees, okay, then audit is applicable. But there is some proviso. If your aggregate amount received, including for sales, turnover or gross received during the previous year in cash does not exceed 5% of the said amount, means if your total receipt 90% in digital format, okay, this is and your total payment of the if cash portion is 5%, then your 1 crore rupees threshold will be 10 crore rupees. Then you have to, if your turnover is below 10, about 1 crore and below 10 crore, but your receipt and payment are totally digital, means you have received payment through NFT or RTGS or account pay checks, then there is no requirement of audit. But you have received some payment in cross check or bearer check, it is deemed as cash. Okay. And if you are running a profession, then your threshold limit is yes. Okay. Then subsection B, if you are running a profession and your gross receipt exceeds rupees 50 lakh rupees, okay, then if you have some deemed income and you are claimed section 44 AE, section 44 BB or section triple B, and you have claimed the lower income than prescribed, then you have to get your books of account audited. Or you are a professional, okay, and you have being a professional, you have to declare the 50% profit, okay. Suppose you declared 49% profit, then you have to get your books of accounts audited. Let's suppose in business there is some section 44 AD subsection 4. You have suppose you in the previous year you have declared income as per section 44 AD. Suppose you are all receipt in digital format, then 6% is profit, and your cash receipt, then you have to declare 8% profit, but you have claimed less profit, less than 6% or 8%, then you have to compulsory get your books of accounts audited. Now the firms prescribed for the tax audit 3CA, 3CB, 3CD, it applies to a person who books of accounts are audited under any other law, means Companies Act or Cooperative Societies Act, then you have to again get your books of accounts audited, 3CA, 3CD, and 3CB, 3CD for any other persons, means whose accounts are not required to be audited under any other law. Some madam, no, now we have to understand the some important definition. What is business? Business is defined in section 2 subsection 13 of the Act as a business includes any trade, commerce or manufacture or any adventure concerned in the name of trade, commerce or manufacture. The word business is wide important and it means activity carried on continuously, earning application of his labor or skill in view to earning his income. This is the definition of business. And profession includes a vocation, section 2 subsection 36. The following have been listed out as a profession in section 44 AA of the Act: legal, medical, engineering, architectural profession, profession of accountancy or technical consultancy or interior decoration. For more understanding, you have to refer the rule 6F. Okay, the whether particular activity can be classified as a business or a profession will depend on the fact and circumstances of the fact. Now, what is the meaning of books of accounts? Books of account includes ledger, day book, cash book, account books or any other books, whether kept in written form or electronic form or in digital form or as a printouts of data stored in such electronic form. Now all records are in digital forms. Okay. Now section 44 AB is a very wide section. In a short span of time, it is not possible to discuss all the provisions. Okay, but I am trying to discuss some of the selected provisions which will help in filing of audit report, and this after once the new act is applicable, these forms will be replaced. They have to again study the new forms. Okay, actually government has making suggestions from the trade and general public for the rules and the new forms. Okay. Section clause 4 of GST and details means before starting the audit, all your turnover as per the profit and loss should be matched with the GSTR 1, GSTR 3B, and as well as suppose you are you provide any services, then your counterparty has deducted TDS. Okay, suppose your some of the customers will deduct 194Q sections. Okay, then all your receipt as per 26 AS should be matched with your turnover, as well as your banking receipt should be reconciled with the turnover reflected in profit and loss. So you have keep your all working ready back end. So in future there will be no problem. Okay. Then clause number 18, depreciation allowable. Depreciation should be permissible as a deduction as per the provisions of the Act. Rules Act should be owned, asset should be owned by the assessee, and the asset 100% should be utilized for the business operation purpose. Means personal, if you have purchased some personal asset and it is not used for the day-to-day business activity, then you should not claim the depreciation on such asset. Some of the important terminology method of depreciation is written down value method. Means you have to calculate the depreciation as per the method of written down value method. Rate of depreciation department has give the income tax rule. Means if for building 10% is depreciation, furniture 10% is depreciation, for plant and machinery 15% is depreciation. Again you have to check assessee means if you have purchased some assets in the middle of the year and the asset is put to use less than 180 days, then you have to claim the half percent of debt. Means 15% is some suppose I have purchased a machinery and I use that machinery less than 180 days, then I will take the benefit of only 7 and 5% of depreciation. I will not claim 100% depreciation. Then there is a concept of block of asset as defined in by section 2 subsection 11 to mean a group of asset falling within the class of asset comprising tangible or intangible assets. Means you have to means plant and machinery is separate block, furniture and fittings is separate block, intangible asset is separate block. Actual cost, and one of the most important thing, all the consideration for the purchase of machinery should be in account pay check or digital. Means if you have purchased asset in cash exceeding rupees 10,000, then you have not eligible for the depreciation. So it is very much important to all the business transactions should be in digital payments or account pay check or NFT or RTGS. Cash should be allowed. Not allowed. Okay. Then clause 20B talks about details of hold madam. Details of contribution received from employee, section 36 subsection 1 clause VA, deduction in respect of any sum received by taxpayer as a contribution from his employees towards any welfare fund of such employees allowed as deduction only if sum is credited by the taxpayer to the employee's account in relevant to the fund or before the due date. Means suppose you have received PF contribution from employee, okay, then it is the responsibility of the taxpayer to deposit employee share within the due date as prescribed in PF Act or any other L-frame due date. Suppose you have not deposited the employee's contribution within the due date as prescribed under those act, means PF Act, then you are not eligible to get the deduction of those employees' contribution. Then means you have to make payment of tax on this late payment of employees' contribution. Yes, yes. Yes, 15th ही है sir. Means if you have the notification regarding the grace period of those act, then you will get the deduction. But if there is no notification of the grace period, then you have to make payment on this late payment of contribution. So if you don't make the payment before 15, the expenditure will not be allowed as a deduction. Before 15 means every business is trying to deposit the employees' contribution before 15th of the succeeding month. Example, if employees contribution towards provident further any other staff welfare scheme, means ESI also be covered, okay, after the due date, then deduction will not be allowable. Okay. Clause number 21, amounts inadmissible, section 40A, following expenses expressly disallowed, means TDS default pertaining to any sum other than salary payable outside India or payable to any non-resident or foreign company. If the following conditions are satisfied, the payer is supposed to deduct tax at source. The amount payable is interest, royalty, technical fees or any other sum in the hands of recipient. It is chargeable to tax in India. The aforesaid sum is payable outside India or to a non-resident or foreign company. Okay. For this purpose, first take the profit and loss of the assessee and scrutinize one-to-one expenditure head. If you found these expenses like interest, royalty, technical fees, then you have to deduct the TDS and deposit with the government. Then you will get the benefit. But suppose you have paid the interest to a non-resident, suppose 10 lakh rupees, and you have not deducted the TDS, then entire 10 lakh amount will be disallowed and the assessee has to make payment on this 10 lakh rupees. Okay.
If we pay this tax before filing of the return, then it is allowed.
Yes, yes, this is allowed. Suppose suppose this current year this amount is disallowed, okay, and the next current year I paid the TDS dues with the government and all the TDS return have been filed, then the whatever amount disallowed in the previous year, last year, will be allowed in the current year when I will make payment of TDS to the government. TDS should be deposited within the due date. TDS default pertaining to any sum payable to resident, section 40A, subsection IA, salary, interest, commission, insurance commission, professional fees, 30% disallowance. Suppose you have paid salary or interest to any resident or insurance commission or professional fees, but you forget to deduct the TDS. Then you have to suppose 10 lakh is salary amount. Then I will get the deduction of only rupees 7 lakh rupees. Then 30% will be added back to my income and I have to make payment accordingly. Also, there is a suppose I do not comply with the TDS provisions, there is rupees 200 late fees per day, okay, and the extra penalty, suppose I have a TDS liability of 1 lakh rupees, then I have to make payment of 1 lakh rupees for just simple ignoring the TDS provisions. So it is very much important to check the TDS provisions thoroughly. Okay.
Even prosecution provision is also there.
Ha, right.
TDS prosecution.
Now that prostitution provision है ना, that relief is given in the new income tax.
Okay.
Ha, suppose you have made payment commission, okay, and you forget to deduct the TDS, but the payee has filed his income tax returns, okay, and you have to take the certificate of a chartered accountant that the payee has considered those income in his return of income and he has paid the tax accordingly, then that 30% disallowance will not be attracted. But we have to check the books of accounts of that payee. We have to take the declaration from him that he is make. And one more important thing is that we have to ensure that our payee is filing the return of income. Okay.
There is another provision is changed in earlier Income Tax Act 1961 for in the penalty provision. If you deduct the TDS and not paid to the government, it is amount to imprisonment for that. But if you deduct the TDS and paid before the filing of the return also, then the imprisonment they have removed from the penalty section.
Then there is also there is one exception. Suppose you have deduct the TDS but paid before filing the return of income, then your 30% disallowances I think need to check. I will check those provisions. Okay. Then unpaid statutory liability, section 43B. Certain expenses are deductible on payment basis. Tax, duty, cess or fees or any sum payable by employer by a contribution to PF, superannuation fund, or suppose in PF Act, employee has to contribute 12% of, okay, and employer has contribute same equal amount from his own pocket, okay. Those contributions should be deposited within the due date before filing of income tax return, then you are eligible for the deduction, or you are giving some bonus or commission to the employees for the services rendered. The payment should be actual, or you have taken the loan from the bank, okay, then it is mandatory to check the actual payment has been done the whole year, then you are eligible for the interest exception. Exception and one more important with effect from assessment year 2024 to 25, any sum payable by the assessee to micro small enterprise beyond the limit of specified of section 15 of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Act, deduction is available in the year in which actual payment is made. Okay. Now I think the definition of the micro and small medium is changed in the coming budget. This is the Finance Act. I have taken the definition of as per Finance Act 2024. Okay. The micro enterprises means investment in plant and machinery or equipment does not exceed 1 crore and turnover does not exceed 5 crore. Or okay, and small enterprises investment in plant and machinery or equipment does not exceed 10 crore and turnover does not exceed 50 crore. Now, we have to ensure that all our creditors Udyam registration should be we have in our possession. We have to classify our creditors, whether it is micro, small or medium. Okay. And micro and small, yes sir, yes.
And trading is also not applicable.
Yes.
Only manufacturing and service sector.
Yes, huh. Actually, specifically, it is not mentioned that traders are not eligible, but some of the traders are taking the Udyam registration. So it is safer side to make payment of MSMEs within the due date, so avoid future litigation part.
Traders are not included.
Yes, huh. But some of the traders are taking taking the registration of Udyam registration, and it is not possible for us to verify whether he is a trader or he is a manufacturer. And and one more thing is that you can classification is done on based on turnover. From the GST portal, you can check the turnover of your creditors. After login, we will get the what is the turnover of my creditors. Okay.
Why is this one medium and micro, small and medium enterprise? Why that medium enterprise are not included? For medium it is not applicable. But only for this is provision.
It is government intention to bring this provision to support the MSME, because MSME face the problem of working capital. Because I made supply to my customer, but my supplier, my customer release my payment after I think six months. So it is not possible for MSME to run his business without cash.
But all this data has to be in that form also, because what form which they are going to file after we on the MSME portal, MSME form. All these details have to be entered also, basically. Whether you have to enter the details for the payment, you will wait within 45 days. That's what I think.
Yes, yes, yes. Nah, yes, micro. But for audit point of view, everybody has to follow the rules, because at the time.
Following, they are getting agreement signed, they are asking customer not to give MSME, income certificate. And then saying, if you want to do business, please accept 90 days advance or 80 days payment terms.
This ground reality is different and act is different, sir.
I don't practice like you, but I am aware of it.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, वो है ना सर, वो है सर.
धंधा करने का या उसके बाद में हम पैसे देंगे?
One question, suppose this is a 45 days given tax purpose, but vendor gives the 60% credit, then
नहीं,
which is applicable?
if you, sir, if you have a written agreement, okay.
Yeah, PO is a written agreement.
Yes, but your written agreement period cannot be exceed 45 days. Means if you have suppose entered agreement of I will make payment after 90 days. 90 days will not applicable. I have to make payment.
Okay, but suppose before 30% mark, 14 5 days count. Suppose 16 weeks before 16 February, not the pending for March purpose. March. This is a gap is for 45 days. Then, if suppose I paid this within 45, should be compulsory. But vendor gives me 60 days credit period in purchase order. Then, which is applicable? 45 days?
45 days, sir. 45 days.
Meaning of 60.
No, sir. We have to, sir. We have.
One litigation is that suppose a company pays within a 45, but litigation arises, some politics not good and whatever other issues. Then who will responsible for recover the amount from vendor, government or company?
then suppose you have some defective problem, then you have to communicate with your supplier. This is the defective. If communicate your defects.
अभी का एक प्रॉब्लम है सीए कैसा है 45 डेज पकड़ते हैं
हाँ
60% या 60 डेज क्रेडिट है कोई 90% लेकिन एप्लीकेबल नहीं 45 और नहीं तो नेक्स्ट में क्रेडिट ले ठीक है प्रॉब्लम ऐसा हो गया है जीएसटी की वजह से या इनकम टैक्स में 45 डेज में पेमेंट किया कंपनी लेकिन ऐसा नहीं कि छोटा छोटा मॉडल जो है ना वो 1 साल 2 साल में कंपनी चलता है बाद में बंद होता है अभी लिटिगेशन 17-18 में जो आए सब तो अभी देख लिया जीएसटी में कौन पार्टी सब बंद है सब 50 लाख ड्यू निकाला हमारे पास बिल है उस वक्त तो ये नहीं था तो हम क्रेडिट लिया हर बार सीएमए का सर्टिफिकेट लेके लेकिन वो बोलते कि जो टूए में अभी दिखता है अभी पार्किंग नहीं बंद है 50 लाख निकाला और पेनल्टी उतना ही होगा 7 साल का तो 50 लाख 1 करोड़ कर दो तो ऐसा कैसे दे
हाँ वो है सर थोड़ा
इधर एक्ट इधर है लॉ इधर है बिजनेस चलाने का इसको कोई गवर्नमेंट चलाने का तो प्रॉब्लम है प्रॉब्लम कंपनी को और दूसरा देखो अभी एक केस अभी 8 दिन के पहले मेरा ही हो गया कि 49 लाख एक एक्सपोर्ट था आइलैंड को किया वो 2017 में किया और इसका कैसे उसको मालूम नहीं था एलईडी चाहिए उसके लिए कल नहीं गए तो उस वक्त पे किया और बाद में 6 मंथ में रिफंड लेने का ठीक है 2-3 साल लग गए वो रिफंड के लिए कौन नहीं था ठीक है रिफंड लिया 2020 में लेकिन उसमें एक गलती हो गया था कि कोड गलत हो गया था तो कोड चेंज करना पड़ा बिल ऑफ एंट्री तो वो 2020 में अमेंडमेंट हो गया तो अभी असेसमेंट हो गया तो कमिश्नर ने क्या कर दिया कि वो इनकम पकड़ लिया मीन्स कैसा है कि आप क्रेडिट लिए इसका ये सभी लिया है उस वक्त रिफंड ही लिए और तो इतना लाइबिलिटी निकाला और उसमें इंटरेस्ट उतना 50 लाख तो 1 करोड़ बनने का तो अभी देखा हम क्रेडिट ही नहीं दिया सिर्फ रिफंड लिया अमेंडमेंट रिप्लेस होता है उसके सिस्टम तो सिस्टम उसका गलत है बाद में रेक्टिफिकेशन करें लेकिन सवाल है एक्सेप्टेड उसको समझता है अमेंडमेंट के हिसाब से हो गया लेकिन वो नोटिस भेजते तो प्रोफेशनल चार्जेस है ये झंझट हो गया कंपनी को तकलीफ हो गया तो वो कौन जवाबदार पैसा कौन जाता ठीक विदाउट की होता है क्या सब सर अच्छा कर कोई चीज़ें गलत कर रहा है
Sir, this is the practical issue, but it will not minimize. This will be continued because see, this litigation what happened because of sharing the interdepartmental information. So
बराबर है प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है गवर्नमेंट सिर्फ ऐसा कि पर्पस क्या है जीएसटी सब एक्साइज निकाला है लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है कि इतना ही क्रिटिकल है कि 500 नोटिफिकेशन निकाला कंसल्टेंट को समझता नहीं और किसी को समझता नहीं और वो नोटिस भेजते और कोई पैसा देने के बजाय कोई एक्सेप्ट नहीं करता ये प्रैक्टिकल किधर से सिम्प्लीफाई होगा बिजनेस कैसा चलेगा एक प्रॉब्लम है इनकम टैक्स वही हो रहा है ये सिम्प्लीफिकेशन बोलते हैं नाम पे लेकिन किधर होता है सिम्प्लीफिकेशन
नहीं इसीलिए तो नया एक्ट लाया है ना सर इसलिए तो नया बिल आ रहा है ना 2025 टू ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस
एक्चुअली नहीं प्रैक्टिकली कुछ ही नहीं
actually what happened is that we are also responsible whenever the suggestions are invited for the budget, whenever the suggestions are invited while drafting the discussion process. So we all have to contribute.
टेक एक्टिव पार्टिसिपेशन
That time we are silent. Many times we are silent. We all silent. Some of the people are giving their input. Balance people, 90% people are not giving the input. Because of that, again, the act is implemented and then litigation comes. And after that litigation, then the act is going to be amended. It's my experience. Even in GST also, it is same thing happens.
जो
नहीं ले-
But you have 45 days to check whether it is material as per the PO, whether the quality is good, how you pass the GRL, how you
क्वालिटी का होगा देखो ठीक है पैसा लिया बाद में उसने ऐसा किया कि पैसा देने के बाद जीएसटी पेमेंट सब दिया जीएसटी नहीं भर दे फाइल
you
तो क्या करेंगे
can see for that you can hold the payment to be you will get realized in the next month itself that whether
वन टाइम ही सप्लायर और पेमेंट किया अगर जीएसटी रिटर्न फाइल नहीं किया तो कैसा रिकॉर्ड
नहीं you can make the payment only after filing in the GST. You can ask the supplier to file the return, submit the details, and then we will receive the payment.
कुछ नहीं रिस्पॉन्स देता बंद हो गया वन टाइम सप्लायर
So,
वन टाइम सप्लायर
Precaution तो हमको ही लेनी पड़ेगी ना.
so you don't make the payment, you will get the gain and pay the tax to the income tax.
गवर्नमेंट से पैसा लेता है बस बाकी कुछ नहीं दे दो मैं प्रैक्टिकली किधर हो गए
Actually, MSME section has sent the representation to the government to bring some law that our payment release within time. So government introduce this section. If I have to make payment, if I hold suppose 50 lakh of my supplier's payment, then I have to make payment of income tax on this. Then I will make release payment to my supplier within the due date. Why should I pay the tax? Because in section 40, particularly for MSME payment, suppose 50 lakh is outstanding as on 31st March 2025, okay, and you made a payment after let's say 50 days. After 50 days, the entire amount will be disallowed, even though it is paid before filing return of income. Means you have released the all creditors before 30th September. The entire amount will be disallowed. So it will be a very much positive impact on the MSME sector. The MSME business will be grown up.
लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ऐसा है कि बिग कंपनी क्या कर रहे हैं वो एमएसएमई का ये झंझट हो रहा है तो क्या कर रहे हैं कि छोटे वेंडर दूसरा इफेक्ट है गवर्नमेंट ने ठीक है ऐसा ही चलना चाहिए तो बड़ी कंपनी दे दे जो पेमेंट इसलिए तो किया बराबर ओके लेकिन ऐसा झंझट हो गया है तो इसलिए तो बड़ी कंपनी क्या करता है कि ऐसा कोई ऐसा मार्केट में कंपनी कि वो छोटे छोटे वेंडर उसको बेचते हैं और मेन जो कंपनी है तो बड़ी कंपनी से परचेस करता है झंझट वो चलने वाला है लेकिन छोटा छोटा झंझट बंद हो रहा है ऐसा तो अभी उसका बिजनेस जा रहा है छोटे में दूसरा इफेक्ट है तो ऐसे अगर देश हम कॉन्ट्रैक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए ना
Maybe in new if MA
देखिए ऐसा लीगली कोई जो है ना जो गवर्नमेंट को डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर आता है सीए का या सीएमए का ये जरा बताना चाहिए ना
if the industry has sent your input, then government obviously think in new bill. The provision is not changed in the new bill, but if MSME on itself suggests the government to change the this provision, then government will think about.
छोटे बंद हो गए तो सीएमए या सीए के सर्टिफिकेट बेसिस पे क्रेडिट देना चाहिए
डॉक्टर साहब आप ड्राफ्ट में लिख दीजिए ना ड्राफ्ट में जो सजेशन है तो लेट अस राइट इन द ड्राफ्ट एग्जैक्टली बराबर ये देखिए मतलब एज अ कलेक्टिव मेंबर अपना रोल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है दिस इज नॉट द फोरम टू डिस्कस अपना ये कि अपन कलेक्टिवली इसके ऊपर रिप्रेजेंटेशन दे सकते हैं जो ड्राफ्ट बिल आया है या इंस्टीट्यूट ने भी आपको मेल अभी रिलीज किया है कि इसके ऊपर सजेशन दीजिए आपका क्या सजेशन है तो आई थिंक अपन अगर कलेक्टिवली ये सब
again, huh. Again one more important section, okay, amounts not deductible in respect of expenditure exceeding 10,000. For 35,000 rupees is for playing, hiring or goods carriage, section 48(3). If assessee incurs any expenditure in respect of which payment in excess of rupees 10,000 is made otherwise than by account pay check or account pay bank draft, then 100% of such expenditure will not be allowed as a deduction. Suppose you incurred 2 lakh rupees expenditure, okay, and you have made cash payment greater than rupees 10,000, then the entire 2 lakh rupees will be disallowed and you have to make payment. So it is very much important to reduce your cash payment below 10,000. Means every payment should be in digital, NFT or RTGS. Okay. Ha, sorry, flying. Sorry. Ha, transport. For transport sector, it is 35,000 limit. Yes. And for MSME, if you do not have any written agreement, then your credit period is only for 15 days. Means if you do not have any written agreement, then you should make payment of your supplier within 15 days of acceptance of the goods or acceptance of services. Okay.
Payment should be made within 15 days.
15 days. If there is no.
The GST Act is not restrictive. As per GST Act, I need to pay within 180 days. Because to avail the credit order, otherwise
Yes.
I have to do this. Here you are saying that this amendment is completed within 15 days.
Yes, 15 days. If there is no return.
Even MSB Act is saying 45 days.
No, sir. 45 days is for if you suppose you and me have a written agreement of let's say 60 days. I will make payment of 60 days. Then I will mandatorily to make payment to you within 45 days. Okay. And suppose we do not have any written agreement. Means there is no terms and payment agreement. Open PO. Then I have to make payment within 15 days. For this we have to refer the MSME Act, sir. But you have checked the once your supplier handed over. आवाज येत नाहीये का? Sorry. Hello. Suppose you received goods and you signed the GRN. Your plant person check the quality of material, then it is deemed to be accepted from the day your then your payment terms start from the acceptance of the goods. Then it is deemed accepted because you have not checked, because it is the duty of the receiver to check the quality of material. Then again we have to be very careful accepting of any loan or deposit. We should not accept the loan in excess of 20,000 in cash. You should, if you require any money for running a business, then you should take the loan only through account pay check, not bearer check, or accept through RTGS or NEFT. If suppose you accept loan in cash, then suppose you accept 2 lakh rupees loan, the entire loan amount which is accepted in cash will be deemed to be your income. So it is very sensitive.
So you are speaking about the loan from director or third party?
From anyone. Suppose you have take loan from partner. So it should be through account pay check or NEFT.
They are avoiding totally cash.
Ha. Then clause 34, tax required to deducted or corrected as per provisions given below.
Actually, in short, earlier making financial there were tremendous adjustment.
Hmm.
Now through this bill they are reducing all the cash transactions.
Right.
So if I want to make provision, make loan of director, so always the P&L is managed through this provision. So the provision is the form of adjustment only. That is the rule.
Right. And one more provision is there. Suppose you booked some expenditure. Suppose you booked 10 lakh rupees expenditure and the entire 10 lakh rupees is outstanding in balance sheet, creditors. But you made payment of outstanding 10 lakh in cash in excess of 10,000. Then the entire amount again will be disallowed. So whatever amount outstanding should be paid in digital payments. I have just explained TDS provisions.
Actually यहाँ पे मतलब ये बहुत अहम है. इंडिया में मतलब अपलोड है कि डिजिटल करेंसी अभी भी बहुत दिक्कत है.
Hmm.
जो लिमिट है यहाँ पे आपको थोड़ा मुझे लगता है सजेशन में इम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहिए अप टू 10,000 का जो एग्जाम्पशन है वो तो देना चाहिए क्योंकि छोटे मोटे जो भी अपन जो भी छोटी मोटी चीजें लगती है बिजनेस रन करने के लिए एक्चुअली वो 10 का रखना ही चाहिए.
हाँ.
अप टू एग्जाम्पशन यू कैन ऑलवेज आस्क द राइटर.
हाँ, up to 10,000 no problem. But
किसी बिजनेस में
मुझे 1 लाख रुपए पे करना है
हाँ,
और मैं 10-10 हजार के 10 टाइम्स पे करता हूँ.
नहीं सर, क्योंकि suppose because they have used the word of expenditure 2 lakh, but you are making payment in part of rupees 10,000, then it will be disallowed.
10 आदमी को 10,000 दिया तो भी
वो एक्सपेंडिचर का लिमिट 10,000 होना चाहिए सर. एक्सपेंडिचर, वो पेमेंट वर्ड यूज़ नहीं किया उन्होंने.
what he is asking, I will make 10 different suppliers.
Suppose you have incurred expenditure of 10 supplier within 10,000, then there is no disallowance.
okay. There should be 10 different parties to whom I
And
can
expenditure should be within the limit.
No, for example, I am purchasing stationery
Hmm.
from 10 different parties.
Hmm.
And the total stationery expenditure is 1 lakh.
Hmm.
I am paying 10 parties and 10,000 in cash.
Then it is not. It will allowed, sir. Less than 10,000, sir.
Okay, 9,009.
हाँ.
Okay. So is it allowed?
सिंगल पार्टी सिंगल डे 10,000 का लिमिट क्रॉस नहीं होना चाहिए. हाँ. एक वो एक्सपेंडिचर उस लिमिट में होना चाहिए सर. हाँ. लेकिन क्या करना चाहिए सर, डिजिटल पेमेंट में कितना टाइम ज़्यादा है. आप जितना डिजिटल करोगे आपका फ्यूचर में लिटिगेशन नहीं आएगा आपको. लेकिन हाँ, अगर आप कैश में करते हो तो लिटिगेशन आपको आने ही वाला है. और गवर्नमेंट ट्राइंग टू promote the digital economy, right sir? Okay. Suppose commission section 194, you have to in a tax audit scrutinize all the expenses on which TDS is applicable. First find out which expenses is required on which TDS is applicable. Okay, suppose I make a payment of commission, then how much total expenditure for the commission incurred? Suppose 11,76,549, and out of that how much expenses on which TDS is required to be deducted? That amount reported in column number 4. Okay, and how much amount on I have deducted the TDS? Suppose 11,76,000 is commission, but I have deducted only 11,70,000. Then 6,000 will be disallowed. Okay, and accordingly, if you have deducted the TDS, but suppose I have collected 58,826 amount, then I have to make payment of this government treasury within the due date, means before filing of income tax returns. Okay.
याच्यामध्ये मला वाटतं आपण असं डिस्कस करायला पाहिजे सी जो क्लॉज 34 आहे टॅक्स ऑडिट रिपोर्टला एक्झिस्टिंग नाही सो व्हॉट क्लॉज 34 वी आर डूइंग अपन जैसे कोई भी कंपनी के जितने भी कंसल्टेंट है जितने भी प्रोफेशनल सर्विसेज है उनका टीडीएस डिडक्ट करते हैं राइट तो एज अ टैक्स ऑडिटर ये जितने भी अपन ट्रांजैक्शन का डंप लेके एनालिसिस करते हैं टीडीएस के जितने भी रिटर्न फाइल हो चुके हैं उसमें से कौन सी अमाउंट वहाँ से मिस हो गई जिसके ऊपर टीडीएस भरा नहीं वो आइडेंटिफाई करके जैसे सर ने बताया कि वहाँ पे आपने को मेंशन करना है और अलाउड करना है तो ये क्लॉज का टू द एक्सटेंट अपना वही है कि कितने अमाउंट पे आपने टैक्स भरना छूट गया है आपने से और वो यहाँ पे डिक्लेयर करो और टू द एक्सटेंट उतने एक्सपेंसेस आप डिसअलाउड करो तो ये क्लॉज 34 वो भी उसके बारे में
राइट.
सभी टीडीएस आपका 194 एच है 194 जे है जो रॉयल्टी रहेगा रेंट रहेगा बाकी इन्होंने अभी दो हाईलाइट
हाँ, हाँ.
बाकी भी सभी सेक्शन
हाँ,
में
हाँ.
आ जाएंगे
हाँ, हाँ.
टैक्स वो वहाँ पे आपको मिलना है
हाँ, और नेक्स्ट ईयर में जब आप वो टीडीएस का पेमेंट कर देते हो गवर्नमेंट को, तो नेक्स्ट ईयर में वो जितना भी डिसअलाउंस हुआ है आपका, वो आपका अलाउ हो जाएगा. Okay, then clause 35 quantitative details of goods traded or manufacturing concern, details of raw material. I think this point is relevant from the in our cost audit report we give quantitative details. Okay, so this point is very relevant. Okay, then section 36 says deemed dividend.
point is very much related to in case of officer demand for the special audit by the cost accountant for inventory valuation. That time also whatever the quantity is mentioned in the quantitative details will be same as much that there is no discrepancy will be same we have to report in the 60.
And one more clause is there which asks for the cost audit details. Means if cost auditor mentions some disqualification or disagreements in their cost audit report, then tax auditor have to report those particular disagreement and why the disagreement is there in their cost audit report.
It is very important. Amit has highlighted that. Now we are not referring by doing the cost audit, tax audit report. So now whatever the figures, the product wise reported in the clause 35, we need to reconcile because we just doing the cost audit, but we are not referring this tax audit report. So now we have to see that the quantity which is reported in clause 35, which is exact matching my cost audit report.
Government already taking the these forms in the process of change, so our institute can send the suggestion to align this tax audit report with cost audit report. Okay, then we have to clause 44 breakup of total expenditure entities registered or not registered under the GST Act. For this you can take the GSTR 2A from the GST portal, and you can give the breakup how many entities are registered under the GST and how many entities under composition, or which expenses is related to the entities are not registered under the GST. We have to give the breakup of all the expenditure from the balance profit and loss to the this tax audit report.
Clause 44, you are speaking about.
Ha, yes, clause 44.
It is mandatory from
Ha.
1st April 2020.
Right.
But again, for clause 44, the challenges are given up, those are working in GSTR 99C. 9C में भी जो breakup है, similar में भी breakup tax audit भी दिखा रहा है.
Right.
तो 9C में हम 9C का जो 4 है, वहाँ पे अभी तक mandatory लगा है. Last 6 year, it is not made mandatory. तो वहाँ पे वो feel होता है तो it is also easy to feel here also.
Yes, yes. And the tax audit report should be filed 1 month prior to the due date of return filing of return. And the penalty is not mandatory, it is a discretionary power to the officer, 1.5% of the turnover or 1,50,000, whichever is lower. Now, I will just show the income tax forms. Government yearly basis releases this form in schema basis. Okay. Um, the first form is applicable for the assessee whose accounts have been audited under any other law. This is 3CA, means private limited company or cooperative societies. Okay.
Just यहाँ पे एक basic question है कि 3CA, 3CB and 3CD. There are 3 forms.
Right. Yes, 3CB for the assessee for whom whose accounts have not been audited, means suppose partnership firm or proprietorship, then from 3CB, and from 3CA for private limited companies or so.
Persons who are get audited under any other act.
Means cooperative society, cooperative bank.
And those persons who are not covered under the CA, those are required to file under 3C.
Okay. Then form 3CB. This form is applicable for the proprietorship or partnership firms for whose accounts have not been audited under any other law. Then form number 3CD. In part A, you have to give general information, name of the assessee, PAN number, GST number, so and so, previous year, assessment year. Then part B, if firm or association, then name of the partners, their profit sharing ratio. And one more thing I need to highlight, when the calculation of remuneration to the partner, we have to check the partnership deed, whether the partnership deed has have a clause of the remuneration to the working partner. Means remuneration is only for the working partner. Suppose one partner is not working, then remuneration will not be allowed. Then nature of the business. Then clause number 11, books of account prescribed under section 44A, give the list of accounts, and whether any assessee, whether the profit and loss account includes any presumptive income profit. If yes, then give the details. Method of accounting, mercantile or cash. Most of the business follow mercantile policy. Then we have to give disclosure of ICDS, accounting policies, valuation of inventory, construction of revenue recognition, so and so. If there is a disagreement, then give the proper, okay. Then method of valuation of closing stock. If any asset is converted into capital asset, into stock in trade, okay. Suppose you have capital expenditure, personal expenditure expressly disallowed, okay. If you have incurred any expenditure by a penalty or fine, then this will not be allowed as a expenditure. Or you have make payment of income tax, this is also not allowed as, or you you have made payment of penalty, then penalty payment is also not allowed, late fee, not allowed as a deduction. अगेन सेक्शन 40A में जो भी डिसअलाउंसेस है वो आपको यहाँ पे देने हैं यहाँ पे. This form is going to be changed once the new act is passed. Then we will hold the seminar on the in detail. In short span of time, it is not possible to explain all the. Okay. If you have any query, please ask. Okay.
Anybody have any questions on the tax audit? So we are not a right authority to ask this question. Please ask to the council. We are also waiting for that. Yes, we are hopeful for that, and we saw the efforts. Everybody is taking the efforts from the chapters, from the individual members, from the council also taking their efforts from their own. So let's say, yeah, obviously Harshad sir will share their views on that. So I request Harshad sir to come on the dais. Yes.
So we will request on behalf of Pimpri-Chinchwad Akodi chapter. So today we would like to invite CMA Harshad Deshpande sir, who is the Central Council member of Institute from the Western region. So sir, please come on the dais. Along with that, we have also CMA Mahendra Bombay sir, who is a practicing cost accountant. So who is a WRC member. So sir, please come on the dais. Along with that, I will also ask our speakers, young speakers, CMA Amit Bise and CMA Babasaheb Pate, please, please be on the desk. Okay. I will request immediate past chairman of the chapter, CMA Dhananjay Kumar Vatsan sir, please be on the stage. All. Okay. So now, as Amit ji said, we will hear it from what is going on the income tax. So we will hear it from our beloved CCM and the RCM. Sir, over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sagar. थँक्यू सागर आणि सगळ्यांचं खूप धन्यवाद किंवा तुम्ही पिंपरी चॅप्टर टीम हॅज ऑर्गनाइज दिस सेशन ऑन इन्कम टॅक्स दॅट टू विथ 2 CMA faculties. That is very important. Last week I informed him that this is a very important time that we should be aligning our interest and you showcase that okay, we are there. So good session, good interaction, many people asking questions. So it is very important for all of us. I'm not the income tax expert, but we all of us know a little bit of income tax, isn't it? It is not that we cannot do it. The thing is that we are not doing it because we are not there. But many of us, we know what is it and how to do it. I don't find, if you could recollect, this actually began with this draft. It was informed that in the budget, this union budget, this new income tax will be placed. Okay, there was no such act in the union budget. FM announced that this would be a separate bill which will be introduced subsequently in the same session. So in the second part of that session, they introduced this bill, and this bill they have also shared a draft bill. Okay, as all of you have seen it, that draft bill is there. Now this draft bill, while last day of the session, they didn't pass it through. That is the one good thing that happened, that otherwise it would have been gone, isn't it? So one major thing that we have done is that it is not selling through. They have given it to a select committee which consists of 31 MPs, okay, and which is led by Baijan Jay Panda from he's from Odisha, okay. So this 31 MP committee, called as a select committee, they are now going through these provisions in detail. With the announcement of that committee, that of course our leadership, we have designed some action plan. Initially also we were working, but it is also very important that public visibility should be there. You all should be aware what is happening, because it is also your own profession, your own institute. So it is important that our visibility should be there. You will find that what is being shown, or what the activities we have done, I will put it double than that we have done. Okay, many of the things we don't share it on the public forums, because the problem is that once you do anything, there is a leakage of the information. So we want to go it very strategically. We don't want everything we put on the social media fronts and give the chance to the people to pursue it and lobby it. So that we wanted to avoid. So there are many things. There are so many letters. In fact, I would appreciate Pimpri chapter team also. I think Sagar and Ajit has done a fantastic job. I think you met 3, and Mahendra also was there. 3 MPs, na? You have collected letters. Letters? How many? 5 letters. So wonderful job done. 5 MPs you have met, and you have gathered the letters. Very, very important. So that means a lot. Okay, so we can go. Of course, right now the job is restricting to the first select committee. Once the report would be submitted by the select committee, then it will go to the next level, that is the parliament session. It will be put up. That will come in the monsoon session. So generally monsoon session starts in the month of July, around second week of July. So you will see that this development will keep on happening till maybe 10-15th of July. Okay, until that select committee submits their report to the parliament. Okay, thereafter parliament will take it up and will decide whether to pass the bill, what is being recommended by the select committee, or they can also have a right to overrule it. It is not that it is mandatory for them, because last 2 times it has happened that committee had submitted a report. Thereafter that DTC bill never came. One time that similar parliamentary committee has recommended the inclusion of our name. That also didn't sail through. So although that report was there, it could not get implemented. So this, I will say that this is a long procedure, है ना? So every day I receive many calls, sir, क्या लग रहा है? तो मैं तो बोलता हूँ मुझे अच्छा लग रहा है ना, क्यों उसमें बुरा क्यों सोचो? I will, there is lot of time to go, 15th of July. तो every day if you ask me कि मतलब तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. I mean that time is there, है ना? We cannot say anything. What we can do is that we can put our best efforts. That is something we can do. What we can assure. I was talking to our friend and same thing. He was asking me, sir, आपको क्या लगता है? तो मैंने बोला मुझे तो यही लगता है कि आपको ना मानना चाहिए ना. I mean, why we should say no? है ना? So there is no doubt in my mind that, see, you must have gone through. I have written one article before everything happened. Okay, so I have briefly told. Okay, these are the 7 reasons. Okay. Why logically, technically we should be there. And first of all, I could recollect also that reasons because I have done it with my heart and brain, isn't it? It is not that something I did some copy paste or something. So we are accountant. There is no doubt about it. We are the one of the body of accountants, and we are recognized by statute. So we are a body which is formed by the Act of Parliament. We have been a member of IFAC. So that is there is no doubt that we are the accountants. We are accounting body of the nation. Okay. So there are 2 accounting bodies. Out of that, we are the one. So there is no doubt about it. Secondly, what is required? Curriculum. We have in our curriculum the direct tax at intermediate level, final levels. In fact, full 100 marks paper is there. So there is no question about the curriculum. Training, it is already there. We are also doing the trainings. There is a mandatory internships that you have to undergo before you get the membership. So that is there. The next important point is that the mechanism, disciplinary mechanism, the quality review boards, the peer review system. So that is also in place, isn't it? Then there are many things. Perhaps there were apprehensions about that, okay, the audit quality and this, so that we have proven that we don't have any, somebody, you know, on social media I saw one of our members were, you know, talking about frauds which are happening, and there were so many accountants which were involved. Okay, so to counter it, somebody has shared, okay, there was some 35,000 crores fraud which was done by CMA. Okay, so I was shocked. I said that 35,000 crore scam CMA has done, you know, it's how it got unnoticed. So actually it was like that 35 crore scam discovered by GST intelligence team, and that was an article which was written by some CMA, our friend, which is from this chapter only. So I got so scared that, you know, I mean 35,000 crore scam somebody is doing. So then I told that read out carefully. So we are proud that none of our members so far has been found in such kind of irregularities, including the audit findings, or there are so many bank cases going on. I am also handling a lot of insolvency cases. Never now this. There is a case of this IndusInd Bank currently going on. What is this? Again, same question gets, you know, rather the same set of violations has happened. Ultimately, who are the losers? depositors, the banks, the public at large, isn't it? So this is happening so many times, and fortunately we are not, any of our members have never been part of that such kind of things, so there is no question about the credibility. Yes, the problem nevertheless is it's a battle between the David and Goliath. You know, we are maybe 5,000 odd practitioners. We are fighting with some 1.5 lakhs of practitioners other side. So there is a huge difference. So let us accept that. Let us not be, many times we get a question, why don't you meet FM? Okay. So it is not so simple to meet FM. Many times you say that, sir, why Modi is not coming to our forums? I don't know why he's not coming. You have to ask him now. I mean, why he's not coming? We are inviting every time. So the thing is that it is not so simple, because what we find is that these people, so we were trying to get PM on board, I mean, in one of the events. Okay. His secretary was telling that his minimum requirement will be that there should be 25,000 odd people. Okay. Across the India, we are around 50,000 members. Is it possible to gather 25,000, even if you take the help of students? So that kind of a size, that kind of visibility they want. So we have our own limitations. So we have to live with it. We cannot just say, and suppose we do it. And if it happens, what happened maybe on 1st July 2017, you recollect what happened? 1st July 2017, there was a GST day celebration in our, I don't call them as a brother, sister institute, and all of us, we are all called sisters institutes. So if that thing happens, will you be able to take it? So there are a lot of things which we have to, be careful about. So while we do it, let us not overdo it. That is also one thing that, in the process of getting something, if we lose something, that also is a challenge. So if you are, that possibility we also cannot rule out. So we are very strategic that we have to achieve something, but in that achieving we cannot afford to lose anything also. That is also the fact of the life. So the action plan, right now is first of all convincing the 31 MP members that consist of the different parties and different states. So we are trying to convince them, we are more interested in convincing the government, I mean the ruling party MPs, because that is what will make a difference, because there are certain recommendations which are being received from the opponent party. So sometimes it also is a problem, because that in political listings this may or may not be taken up that in a positive way. But nevertheless, we have approached everybody, because this is the this is a long battle. This started back 1961. This actually we were there originally in 82 bill. Okay, but somehow at that point of time we could not make it, and every time we are promised that wherever there will be amendment in the act, this inclusion will be considered. So that is one thing. Further, what I will also request all of you is that apart from this definition, so what we are talking is the one section in entire act. Okay, let us also give importance to other sections. Okay. So like today they have given good presentation. I am told that I was not here, but Amit has given some comparative analysis. So what we also want is that members should be vocal. These members should also give their suggestions other than the tax definition. Okay, tax definitions, yes, definitely. But other than that also we have to, you must have seen somebody had just said that your privacy will be in threat, and how much attention it gathered of the media. So why not we start, since many of you are working in the income tax stream, why not to give such pointers? Okay, you find something, small provision, it makes a very big impact, and if we become the first one to get this to notice, automatically it proves our credentials. So my request to all of you is also that you please study. Okay, even though perhaps you will say that I may not be in income tax, there is no harm. You take some set of rules, some set of sections, you do your own analysis, you will find something which has changed. To be honest, this tax, supposed to be a reformatory law, but I don't find that is so much reformatory is there, isn't it? So it's just consolidation of the various rules, regulations, amendments, notifications, and consolidation into a single stream. That is what I can find. But in that also there are so many ifs and buts. There are so many commas and dots that they have changed, which will not be the notice of the common man or even a common MP. So it is we that we have to tell them that, okay, what is the change, what has happened, and what is the implication of that change. So this would be a very good exercise, and in fact, if a chapter can lead, you can take certain sections, give it to the members. So I will put it this way, say we are 30 odd people. So each one of us takes 20 sections. So that comprise of 600 sections. So we are done. Within 1 week, if we can gather this and get this analysis done, that is something that will be appreciated by the society, isn't it? So why not we go one step ahead and do something like that? That is what I will definitely request the chapter to consider, and I also will request that members should volunteer themselves, because see, sitting in the council, I cannot say myself as an expert of income tax. Okay, certain rules, regulations, or certain acts, I'm good, yes, but not all. So that is the power of the collective wisdom. So all of us get together, you tell, okay, these are the 10 sections my strength, 20 sections my strengths. You consolidate, make a document. That is what is going to work in a very big way. And this also can be happen in a timely manner. Suppose I've given a task to somebody to put a comparative analysis of 600 sections. It may take 1 month. All of us, we can do it in 8 days time, isn't it? Possible. So that is something I will request that let us do it actively, let us do it, let us take positive initiative, and let us all do it. I mean, see, I am telling you honestly, council, okay, I am being council member, I can represent, but we are also encouraging each one of you. In fact, this letters, all things, we have provided a drafts, chapters, we have provided memorandum, everything has been provided. So any one of you, for that matter, have a connect. You think that something can you do, we are always open. There is nothing like, good thing has happened is that this is a common cause for the profession. Here there is nothing like who has done it. Everybody has done it, or everybody has failed to do it. So there is nothing like taking the credit or blaming somebody. This all is our collective responsibility. So let us do it collectively, and anything I am telling you, that don't think that I am the only council member. You, all of you are council members. You tell us, sir, this is what I have to do, I am ready to do it, including our president, vice president. They also have given the freedom to us also, and they also told that kindly pass it on to your the common members, so that they also should feel empowered. Everybody has a role. Okay, so you never know what can strike better. So we cannot take any risk on that front. So I want all of you to join this movement. Everybody has its own strength and weaknesses. So you work on your strength. Some of you could be good in listening. Some of you could have a good connects with the MP. Some of you could not have it, but some of you could be good in social media. Some of you could tell the, some technical write-ups you can do. So there are so many things that we can do. So whatever way you can do it, that will be a small bit of portion which will enable us to move forward, like that. आपण म्हणतो ना खारीचा वाटा, तर प्रत्येकाचा एक खारीचा वाटा आहे, तर तो आपण जरी पार पाडला तर हे खूप आहे. So I always feel that this is like an examination. Okay, so what we can do is best is that you can give your 100% with 100% dedication, 100% hard work, 100% attempt we should give, and then you leave it to governments, because there are so many things. The government is unpredictable. So many things they have done last so many years. So we find that they also will do something like that this time, unpredictable, and we get our justice, long delivered justice. This is also one of our wish. But nevertheless, let us be positive in the mindset. Let us not talk about anything negative because there is a time. As I told, it will continue till July maybe, that there is a possibility that that also will get extended. You never know. So this is going to be a long battle. So this is going to be a marathon. So don't run like a sprint, because in 100 meters you will finish. Then what you will do? So let us have a patience, let us have collective wisdom, let us have a collective strategy. And every day, like you get news, we also get news. But something that interests you, which is not available, and you find that, okay, this something information could be helpful to us, definitely we are here to work upon it and work out something which will be helping us to get what we desire as an ultimate goal. Nevertheless, I will also tell you that we have to get this done somehow, but by chance, if we don't get a positive result, so that also we should not, be too much of disarray, saying that then what is the use of institute? We have survived without this. I don't think so any one of you have taken the admission to this institute to do tax audit, because we were never there. If we were there and our name is not there, that is a separate story. But when we were never there and we are not here there today also, so that is not that catastrophical kind of a phenomena which will question our existence. That then many times I see this on the WhatsApp, I fail to understand that they write that if that definition is not there, we should close the institute. For what? If somebody want to close the institute, first of all, he should surrender the membership and exit. Why he want institute to get closed or something, and what kind of a language, why we use it for our own institute, isn't it? So this is something I will definitely urge you, that let us not be extremist saying that okay, this is like a do or die situation, nothing. Okay, it is not that much. We are going to give 100% attempt, but that doesn't mean that this is everything for us. We have lived without this for ample of time, and as an accountant or management accountant body, we have a lot of things to do. There is I always say that there is a half empty glass and half full glass. So whatever that half full, I am a positive person. So I am saying that whatever half full, that is also enough for us. Okay, that also we are not able to explore. That is the hard reality, that so many cases, so many acts, so many things, we are there, but we are not there. I was talking to Rahul about this cooperative act. Okay, our Pawar sir has done fantastic job. I was there fortunately with him. How many people have empaneled for cooperative empanelment? Any guess? The numbers are so poor, we cannot even share. So when the opportunity is there, we are not going there. We are too much on one thing, which perhaps we don't know what will happen. So nevertheless, let us not lose the hope. Nevertheless, let us not be too extremistic about this. We will give a sincere and honest attempt along with you. It is not that only council or president, vice president will do. Together we will do. And as I said, that there are a number of things which we will keep on doing. And I hope perhaps my address is prolonged. Mahendra is also want to add that. But I thought instead of you asking me a question, let me answer, because I know I have got my own FAQs, what are the questions I get. So based on that, I tried to cover up all the points. So if I miss anything, we are here. As a council member, Mahendra is also there in the region. So we are here to face you. Okay, we have that courage, because I do believe that we are not here to just occupy the positions. The positions mean nothing for me, at least. So unless we face the members, we face the reality, we cannot call as a leader. So once leader, you have to face it. So that is why I think I appreciate the initiative of the Pimpri chapter for organizing these interactive sessions, which would clarify your doubts, which will perhaps give a better communications between the efforts what the institute is doing and you. And this, as I told, this will be a long battle. It is not going to be just a matter of few days, months, maybe years. I don't know how much it will take. So let us stick together. Let us keep ourselves updated about this, and keep positive mindset that okay, anybody asks you that, I always say that everybody say what do you think? I always think positive. No? If everything happens 2 times, I mean everything, there is a good this thing that if first it happens in your mind and then it happens in reality. So if you think that this will happen, it will happen. If you think that this may or may not happen, then this may or may not happen. If you think that it won't happen, then it won't happen. So all of us give a positive inclination. This will happen. It can happen. It will happen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Harshit sir. I think you have clarified most of the doubts from all the members. So now I'll request our beloved RCM to address the today's audience.
Good afternoon. First of all, let me congratulate each one of you because you are here. That is the reason this program is successful. Also,
Actually, we have missed. I request Hampoli sir to be on the dais, please. We have missed that point, sir. Yes, please be on the dais.
basically, also I would like to thank our speaker Amit and Padeji, the way they have explained this new income tax bill, so that what is our role is very important. So just I will not take because delicious lunch is also waiting for you. So just 2-3 minutes. So what I expect and what I'm hearing from various members, because whenever we are meeting various youngster practitioner, they have some issues, right? So Deshpande sir is already explained that what the council is doing, right? But again, so it is very important the way we are approaching to the various MP, MLA. Now at least they come to know that this is the fraternity under the Act of Parliament, right? So we need the same spirit. So as Sagarji has already explained that we met 5 MPs, right? So when we met them now, they don't know the cost accountant. At least when this bill come in the Lok Sabha, at least they have heard from her that this is the body and they have requested something for inclusion. So unitedly, so if we meet various MP, MLA, that will create. So now first target already Deshpande ji is told that 31 MPs. Okay. So these are the 31 select committee. But again there are other MPs when this bill come in for the discussion in 15 July monsoon session. So at least there are various connect. Even though the 5 MP we met, we don't have the connect. There are our member, those have given their connect, right? So maybe if you have any connect. Yesterday also I speak with the Mahada MP, right? And he is immediately told that Mahendra ji, we are with you. So you just meet my this Ganesh Binge and he will give you the letter. So just with the one call also, we are getting support from the member, and one of member he has shared his number, right? So collectively we can do lot many things. So request is that front again we have very short time. At least create the awareness, create the session. So Amit and these are the youngsters recently, I think 5 to 7 years back they came in the practice, and this is the first bread and butter for them as income tax practice, right? So very excellently they explain this, because when I was working with the Thermax and Corona, this tax audit helped me. As a cost accountant, I was filing all this because mostly senior left the companies, and for this company nobody is helping for the tax audit. Even there are many cost accountant working in various industry filing this compliance mechanism, right? Very easy. Tax audit is not as a critical task the way in the social media is explained. So everything like PT return, PF return, TDS, everything is filed month on basis. Just we need to compile and check that is anything is left or not. That is the role of a tax auditor, right? So I am very sure that we are equipped with the knowledge, and it is not very critically a very something different the way it is explained in social media, right? But for doing this activity, we need to equip ourselves. We need to clause-wise clause analysis, what to feel, what not to feel. So Deshpande ji already told us there is no single disciplinary on our member. But as compare our other colleagues, there are n number of disciplinary from their member. So there is only one solution. If we upgrade our knowledge continuous basis, and if you give the such type of continuously participation, I think there should not be any single case from our member. So I request each one of you, please be participate, give collectively your opinion on the draft wherever it is released by the institute side or government side. That is very important. And one more thing I want to highlight, the Arshid ji has already told that in all India we are only 5,000, right? So if you see that 5,000 cost accountant in 140 CR, अगर 140 करोड़ की मेरी जनता है और उसमें अगर खाली 5,000 लोग practicing है, so again I will give the breakup of 5,000. Out of that 25% are post retirement, right? 25 are youngster and 25 are working in the cost audit and other most critical area. I can say that very 1 to 2,000 people are working in this area, and if you see the size of the industry in India, it is huge. So I think we need to upgrade ourselves for this also. Even one more point, in income tax audit is one thing, but again the inventory valuation by the cost accountant, that provision introduced in the last year, right? Special audit. So think about that. Recently there are only few firms registered for this inventory valuation. But if you get the opportunity, if you get the chance, if you work with that firm, that how this special audit is handled, it will help you to understand, and also 2 years down the line when new income tax panel will be there, you will be the participate very thoroughly in that. So just read carefully what is given the last year criteria, because see, do you have any idea that how much income tax department is paying for the inventory valuation per hour rate? Any idea? 7,500 rupees per hour. So let us think that what is your worth as a cost accountant, right? So I'm not saying that don't focus on this small area, but we have very hardcore area which will give the premium. So take the example like the Tata Motors. If the income tax department raised the special audit, so 15 to 20 plant, and we are just seen that only 1,000 cost accountant are hardcore practicing in the inventory valuation and cost audit. So how you can give the service to that particular kind? If income tax department is giving audit to any practicing cost accountant which is in panel, it is not possible, not feasible. So we have very tremendous potential in this income tax recently introduced in 2024 bill, the inventory valuation by cost accountant. We have to create the army to do this exercise, right? So we need understand the various process of the industry. अगर हमें पता ही नहीं है process, how we can do the inventory valuation stage wise, process wise? So n number of session we have to create on it. They have given the specified format for the inventory valuation, right? Also 1st April we have taken this seminar on the inventory valuation. But friends, let me tell you that this is the very hardcore area and premium money area. Agar income tax if is giving 7,500 rupees per hour, so where you will get such amount? So just अपन ब्लेमिंग कर रहे हैं कि कॉस्ट ऑडिट नहीं मिलते या नहीं मिल रहा है, जो मिल रहा है लेट अस ट्रेन ऑन दैट एरिया, गेट acquainted all the knowledge, and I think massively our fraternity will grow. Any help required, the chapter is there. Just suggestion आप suggest कर लीजिए सर हमें इस एरिया पे brainstorming चाहिए, session चाहिए. So they are working very good. They are doing very good job, right? N number of series they are taking, but आपका participation, आपकी involvement बहुत ही important है. I really thank the Pimpri chapter. Also, I would like to thank today's our chief guest Brijmohan Sharma ji and our Sripad Bedekar ji, the Maharashtra tax practitioner, past president. Also, I would like to thank CCM Arshad Deshpande ji, chairman Pimpri chapter, Sagar Malpuri ji, all committee member, those are working very hard because again friends, this is the social work. So nobody is getting remuneration for this. बस collectively अगर अपन सब लोग एक एम से काम करते इंस्टीट्यूट को अगर मुझे आगे लेके जाना है तो collectively we can certainly do it. तो जो आप देख ही रहे कि जो भी changes हो रहे हैं तो youngster are coming, they are mostly working on the managing committee of the chapter and they are actively performing their role. तो just सबके पास घर है, family है, तो ये भी अपनी family है. तो let us connect with the chapter. Let us connect with the social cause. जैसे लास्ट बारने साहब की अपॉइंटमेंट मिल गई, सो सागर जी जस्ट कॉल मी दैट आई एम जस्ट अलोन, हु विल गो विथ मी. तो इवन दो इफ यू आर इन प्रैक्टिसिंग, अगर कोई
हॅलो. हॅलो मॅम.
हॅलो.
हॅलो.
हॅलो. हॅलो शैला, आवाज येतोय?
मॅम तुम्ही ना दिसत पण नाहीये आणि आवाज खूप स्लो येतोय.
हा अगं आज मी दिसणार नाही कारण ना दुसऱ्या क्लासरूम मध्ये आपण लेक्चर घेतोय, त्यामुळं तुला
तुम्ही काय बोलता काहीच कळत नाही मॅडम, आवाजच नाही येत व्यवस्थित.
1-2 मिनिटात ये, मी तुला कॉल बॅक करते.
हा मॅम, तुम्हाला असं सांगत होते की ह्या लिंक वर स्टार्ट करतो ना दुसरा मॅडम पण, तर त्याला प्रॉब्लेमच येतो, आवाज वगैरे जातो. तर गुगल मीट वर चालू करा.
गुगल मीट वर.
हॅलो.
हा 1 मिनिट थांब.
हो, गुगल मीट वर विचारा मॅडम, दीपा मॅडमांना. त्याच्यावर स्टार्ट झालं ना की व्यवस्थित आवाज ऐकायला येतं आणि दिसतं पण.
ठीक आहे, चालेल. गुगल मीट वर करतात का? ठीक आहे, चालेल. आणि आपलं आहे ना हे, मी आता फाउंडेशन ओपन केलेलं, इकडे कसं गेलं फायनलच्या लेक्चरमध्ये काही कळलं नाही मला. पण तिला कनेक्ट झालंय म्हटल्यावर कुठेतरी आपण टीम्सवर कनेक्ट झालो याचा अर्थ. जीमेल आयडीचं कुठे आहे? राईट. हॅलो शैला. हॅलो. Hello. Bhakti and Shaila, can you hear me? Shaila? Hello. काय आवाज आहे ना त्याचा. हॅलो शैला. हॅलो शैला. हॅलो. हॅलो.
हॅलो मॅम.
हॅलो. हॅलो भक्ती, कॅन यू हिअर मी? आवाज येतोय माझा?
येस मॅम.
हां शैला, तुला पण येतोय आवाज आता? हॅलो. हॅलो शैला. भक्ती, तुला आवाज येतोय ना माझा?
हो मिस.
हो ठीक आहे, चालेल. आपण 1-2 मिनिटात स्टार्ट करूया.
हो हो.
Okay, Sakshi online students Bhumesh, okay. I hope you can hear me. Do you hear me? ऐकू येते तुम्हाला भूमेश किंवा साक्षी? हॅलो. हो बहुतेक. पण आता स्क्रीन नाही झालेली, स्क्रीन इकडेच झालेली आहे फक्त मिरर. इथे सेटिंग खरं विथ आयपॅडच केलं नाही, फुल स्क्रीन नाही दिसत आहे.